stream up and running. Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, X. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss. We've had them over the years because of Thursday night openers and things like that. But Monday Night Football, it's not the first time. I enjoy when we get to do the show on a game day and then knowing that, you get to tomorrow, a Tuesday, and it's a reaction. The week goes by way quicker. I don't know about you guys, and so I enjoy the Monday Night Football. I know it's tough for some people, right? You got to get to bed early enough.
Kids got to go to school.
Tomorrow, if they win, you got energy. If they lose, tomorrow everybody's dragging. I get it. That's how this works typically. We're going to talk all about Jacksonville and Kansas City. We'll also sprinkle in plenty of NFL from yesterday because it was a chaotic day in the NFL. I mean,
it's shaping up to be one of the worst slates of noon and 3 o'clock games I've ever watched. And at least some insane, nonsensical comeback saved it.
Yes.
Plus a great Sunday night football game.
Yeah, it really was. And Thursday night game was good as well. So it's been an interesting week. But let's start with some surprising news yesterday. Now, it sounds like it's going to be all right, but we were in our group chat yesterday, and all of a sudden the report from Adam Schefter and the Chiefs on their own injury report that Xavier Worthy has an ankle problem. This is the latest from Ian Rappaport.
The Kansas City Chiefs had a little sort of injury scare, I would say, yesterday. Xavier Worthy popped up on the injury report with an ankle along with his shoulder. My understanding is kind of just turned his ankle a little bit, woke up swollen. They put it on the report. He is fine. He is expected to go more of a precaution than anything else. Worthy has been excellent since he returned, playing with that torn labrum. And then Trayvon Walker, the Jacksonville Jaguars star edge, former #1 overall pick, 2 sacks as far this season. He actually had wrist surgery this week. Still is questionable. Feels to me like a long shot for him to be able to be out there. They want to leave it up to him how he feels tonight, but certainly seems like more likely than not, Walker will be watching his first game post-surgery.
We can talk about Trayvon Walker in just a bit. Obviously, it doesn't sound like he's going to play. The beginning part, though, good news if you were worried when you saw Xavier Worthy pop up with an ankle injury. It sounds like it truly is just a precautionary thing. It was Ian Rappaport there. Cameron Wolfe yesterday had a similar report. So I fully expect Xavier Worthy to play tonight. I know it's possibly going to be rainy and stuff, and so you worry about, an ankle injury that's already bugging you. But it sounds like, hey, you're required to report something, and he got off a plane, and the ankle was swollen, something they didn't think was a big deal. And then you get to altitude, and sometimes that can cause it to be swell up when you land, by the time you land.
I don't think it's anything major yet, but I will say I do kind of hate any kind of injury lingering, Gold, because we already knew the fear of the shoulder, right? That's been a thing that's always going to exist, and we always have to fear. And I'm still hoping we get at least one game of every wide receiver being healthy for the Chiefs at the same time. As in Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, and Rashee Rice on a football field together. We have to get through 2 more weeks even to potentially get that view of the offense and what their maximum level is. So I don't like it popping up. It does sound like he's going to play. Most reports indicate he's going to play. So I'm not going to over panic about an ankle that swelled up a little bit. This kind of stuff happens. But also, like you see, like Bucky Irving, who had a different secret injury he wasn't even telling his team about. They hold him out for the ankle injury. He's like, oh, by the way, my shoulder's been bothering me. And you're like, what happened? And you're like, I probably dislocated. It's fine, I'm sure. And you're like, whoa, back up a little bit there, Bucky. What happened with your shoulder? And why were you telling us before? Players want to be on the field. And Xavier Worthy, especially against a defense that's been playing as well as the Jags, he's an important player. We saw how important a player he was.
No doubt. I don't think anybody
against the Ravens defense. So, although the Ravens defense is
terrible. Yes.
It's okay.
Terrible.
We'll
That's exactly what they are. But no, you're right. I mean, players, of course, want to do whatever they can to be in the field. I think it was Xavier Worthy after the game last week. He was at the podium, and he was asked just about how tough it was not being out there. And he said, I think he even said going back to high school or something, like he doesn't miss games. Like it's not something he does in his career. I understand the size element. You would think that he's hurt all the time, but he's not. He either plays through it or he doesn't get hurt. So I fully expect him to play tonight now that there's multiple national reports saying so as well, and just based off of the track record. And this seems like, even though it's listed as he's listed as questionable ankle and shoulder, this seems like it's more about the ankle than it is that something went wrong with the shoulder during practice or something, which means I think it'll be all right. The only concern at all would just be, we know so much of his game is about speed, and so if the ankle, does it limit you there? And then if the field is sloppy, then do you risk that? That would be the only reason why I'd be a little more concerned about that. But for the Chiefs, and we'll talk more about kind of the keys to the game and everything, we'll take your texts on it as well. Yes, Xavier Worthy, knowing that you still don't have Rashee Rice, he changes everything, and they absolutely need him on the field tonight to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, last night, You mentioned it was a great game. I don't think a lot of people thought it would be a great game. The Bills were, 8.5-point underdogs
really
on the
sloppy
road.
First quarter.
It was a very sloppy. It reminded me of the first half of the Chiefs-Giants game, from that Monday night game or whatever
Nobody
it was.
wants to win it. Here, you have the ball. No, you have it.
Yeah, or Sunday night game, I guess it was, in the Giants. It reminded me of that, where turnover city, neither team playing well, but also you're letting the team hang around that's not as good as you. The Chiefs ultimately figured it out in the second half against the Giants. The Bills got going offensively a little bit, but their defense is a problem. Their defense cannot stop the run. And we saw Drake May on a national stage grow up a little bit before our eyes. I'm not suddenly saying that Drake May is going to be a top 5 or top 10 quarterback just like that, but that performance makes you think that, okay, the Patriots maybe can push the Bills a little bit more, and the Bills' defense is what we thought, very vulnerable. And the Chiefs still get the Bills here, as we know, coming up in a couple of weeks. This was one nobody expected the Bills to lose, and it's something to watch. I still think the path is very nice for the Bills to get the 1 seed. Someone texted in, because you guys know we had the conversation a few weeks ago, and said, you ready to talk about the 1 seed yet, Gold? Buffalo is gettable. Well, I think there's no dominant team in the AFC. I think that's very clear. I wouldn't disagree with that. I still think their path to the 1 seed is better than anybody else's. And last night does not change that for me. But there is a chance that we wake up tomorrow, not only are the Chiefs tied atop their own division, but the Chiefs are suddenly a game back of the Bills, and they have a head-to-head. So I'll give you that. I mean, it's everything that happened yesterday was good for the Chiefs, no doubt.
Pretty much everything that happened in the league. Chargers go down. Broncos, they won, but also they took down the Eagles, so that one was kind of a wash. But then, of course, last night, look, what's funny about this game is I would just tend to not overreact in any conceivable way as it relates to the Bills. The Bills lost a divisional game. Divisional games are supposed to be tough. And Josh Allen is still one of the top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL. Again, I'm not getting the argument over 2, 3, 4, but he is one of the better players in the league. Most people probably have him too. Last night, what stood out about it is Drake May was making the Josh Allen plays. That throw 30 yards down the sideline, that sick throw that right near the goal line, that one, the final one to Stephon Diggs.
About Stephon Diggs last night, huh?
As he's stiff-arming a defender, flipping that ball out. I honestly think if he gets sacked there, game over. Instead, he gets a first down. They go down and win the game. And Stephon Diggs had a massive game for them. I just thought in a single game, which can happen to Mahomes or anybody else, Drake May made the Josh Allen throws. He made all the plays, especially late in the game, when he just kept coming up with big play after big play after big play and eventually leading them down the field for the game-winning drive. It does make me, I can't decide on the Bills because, unlike the Eagles, the Bills, to me, have looked good. But the problem is they did almost lose to that Ravens squad in week 1. And now the Ravens, even with Lamar Jackson, have some massive offensive issues. The Bills' defense is a little more suspect than it's been in a few years.
Rush defense in particular.
Yeah, and so, that part of it I can't quite figure out. What it's starting to feel like is the AFC doesn't have just a runaway team yet. That's partially because the Chiefs have played poorly, partially because the Bills have looked human, and everyone else is stuck in a complete wash. Like we saw this morning, the Ravens are technically still favored to win the AFC North.
They are.
Which is insane to me.
They're still plus 110, and the Steelers are plus 140. I think that's more about lack of trust and belief in a 42-year-old quarterback and the Pittsburgh Steelers than it is necessarily still thinking the Ravens will figure it out. It is bizarre. I was surprised to see that. I think, though, the Buffalo Bills and the Chiefs and the Ravens, as we know, for the last 5 years, really have always been the 3 teams we talked about as being the dominant AFC West teams.
Yeah, and one of them usually is having the year.
And I still think when the dust settles at the end, the Chiefs and Bills will be there. But I agree with you that it's right now atop the AFC teams we're not used to seeing. Nobody's fully buying the Colts yet. You can say you are starting to because Daniel Jones is playing great. That's fine, and I am starting to. But nobody's putting the Colts in that same category. Maybe that'll be a mistake, and maybe we should. We'll find out.
The most dominant of those 3.
But the Colts right now in the AFC, the Colts and the Bills are kind of the top teams, and the Chiefs have a chance. I think if they were to look impressive tonight against Jacksonville, to immediately vault themselves back up, even the national conversation in that same realm. But when you have teams like the Colts that are now in the convo, it doesn't feel right, I guess, for the national narrative and for what we're used to. So it makes the AFC seem way weaker than what it has been. But yeah, I don't think, the runaway thing is going to happen necessarily. I disagree. Someone says the Bills lost a division game, making the road game making the road game even harder. You mean the road for the 1 seed? No, it doesn't, because they're going to win their division. Like the Patriots are not winning that division. So the 1 seed, either
not
team,
in my mind, no.
like it's whether or not does it bring them back to the pack that you think before the Chiefs had to get to, the Bills were going to be a 14-win team. Now maybe you think they're a 13-win team. Well, can the Chiefs get to 13? Maybe. To me, there was no way the Chiefs were getting to 14. That's where I think the calculus has changed a little bit for the number 1 seed convo. If you want to say that the path is open more because it's not going to take 14 wins anymore, I'll listen to that
because
argument.
Because of one close divisional game
like
on Sunday Night Football, that feels like
that's what I'm saying. I'm not
overreaction.
I'd still, right now, if I had to make a bet on who the number 1 seed is, I would still make it on the Buffalo Bills. I don't know where you would
even more than I guess maybe I'd want to look at the Colts schedule, but come on. There's still part of you in the deepest, dark part of your brain that you're like, the Colts? The Colts are going to win 13 or 14 games. If you look at their schedule, Cardinals this weekend at home. Then they have the Chargers on the road, Titans at home, Steelers on the road, Falcons. That's not like a murderer's road
Also,
schedule.
that Chiefs-Colts game on November 23rd actually seems like pretty special, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially if
one
you're
we thought was going to be a pushover.
Well, and another thing that's good for the Chiefs, if for some reason the market bears out that it's the Colts who are the real threat for the number 1 seed, well, good news is for you, you'll have Indianapolis on your schedule just the same. There's still part of me, and they're rolling some teams right now, so obviously they've got a chance of doing it. It just doesn't feel like there's some absolute force to be reckoned with in the AFC just yet. And yeah, some of that is because the game last night. I will say, I came away more than I was like, oh, what happened to the Bills? Where I thought Josh Allen played a bad game. They gave the ball away a bunch of times. One of his less good games overall, right? I more came away with, boy, Drake May in an absolutely pivotal game for them came through in a couple of big spots. And I still don't think they have an overwhelming offensive unit. Like, I don't think they're just like
they're limited
with
still.
weapons.
They're limited still.
But that makes it more impressive for me.
Well, Mike Vrabel's a hell of a coach.
I mean, he's got his team winning.
Mike Vrabel's a hell of a coach.
That team looks significantly more organized. They look like a better team. Vrabel's much, much better than they were running out there last year. No doubt about it.
And I know Stephon Diggs is the one who requested the trade out of Buffalo a couple years ago, but still, that was a revenge. You could tell throughout the game how much they were showing him, too, on the sideline. He wanted to beat his old team so badly, and he backed it up. Stephon Diggs had an unbelievable performance. It's back-to-back weeks where he has 100 yards. That's also been the difference for the Patriots. If all of a sudden Stephon Diggs post-ACL injury can be anywhere near this level of performance, even if it's 70% of what they're getting in the last 2 weeks, then that's a game changer for that Patriots offense. They just got to find a way for their running backs not to fumble the football. Between Ramondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson, who maybe suffered a serious knee injury and won't be back.
That didn't look good.
But they got the rookie in Travion Henderson, who's impressive. To me, they should be giving him the ball more, given the fumbling problems that Ramondre Stevenson has had.
They were talking about it on the broadcast. You can't ignore it forever. Yeah. Andy doesn't let it. Ramondre's not Saquon Barkley. If all of a sudden one random, or Derrick Henry, right? If Derrick Henry starts having some fumbling issues, you're not going away from Derrick Henry.
Sure.
You took Travion. You took a relatively high draft pick at running back. And if it's not going to work because the guy's giving the ball away, because I thought so many times the Patriots were going to lose that game. I thought it was a huge mistake by Vrabel to kick 3 points from the 1 yard line with 1 second to go in the second half. I think on the road against Buffalo,
go for it.
That is a go. That is a go for a touchdown, go every time for me. And I understand he kicked the field goal, they still won. That is a go. But when they got the first turnover and then gave it right back to Buffalo, all of those, I'm like, ugh. You guys are going to win.
They outplayed Buffalo. Yeah, they outplayed Buffalo in that environment as well. That was a very, very impressive win for the New England Patriots. Tonight, you got Jacksonville, who I think is trying to show people they belong in the conversation in the AFC as well tonight. It's not a playoff game, so let's not act like this is bigger than when they came back and beat the Chargers in the playoffs, or it's bigger than, I guess, has it been 8 years now or whatever? I don't even know the exact timeline since Blake Bortles was in an AFC title game. Has it been a decade already? I don't know the exact timeline on it, but this is the biggest non-playoff game that the Jags have had in a long time. Yeah, it's only week 5. You're saying, how can it be that big? Well, it's a Jags team that has a division that is up for grabs. The Texans don't look all that hot, even though they came off a win this past week. The Colts right now are in first place and look really, really good. But again, I don't think they are going to run away with that division. The Jags haven't played that great of football offensively, and yet they're in a position to potentially get to 4 wins after tonight. And they're going to do it against a team that was in the Super Bowl last year. It's the Chiefs, to me, are still that team that if you beat them, it sets the tone for the rest of the year and makes you believe. And so this is a huge game for Jacksonville for their entire season. I view it that way. Yeah, Kansas City, we all know what's at stake for the Chiefs. I just think for Jacksonville, as much as it's a prove-it game for the Chiefs offense, it's a prove-it game for Liam Cohen as a head coach in year one and a statement opportunity for them. Don't discount that if you're a fan in Jacksonville, you're trying to still knock off the Chiefs here. If you're Liam Cohen, you're trying to prove that, hey, no, this team has a real chance to win this division, to compete and be a playoff team this year. We can hang with the Chiefs. That's what's at stake for the Jags tonight.
It's hard because you always have to shake the idea of, I don't take this team serious because I'm used to them being bad. You want to know the truth? Jags have been bad for a while. They've been a joke of a franchise for some time, even after getting the number one overall selection with Trevor Lawrence. They still haven't mattered really at any one particular point. I know that they faced the Chiefs in one playoff game, that they came back and beat the Chargers, but we didn't take them even serious then during that time. They've been a laughing stock. It's not like Cleveland Browns, Raiders level bad. But if you go through their schedule right now, it's if they don't win this game, no one's going to take them serious. And no one's going to feel threatened by the Jags, and no one's going to walk into a game being like, boy, that defense can really get us. They've beaten the Panthers. They lost to Cincinnati, and that was with Jake Browning starting, 3/4 of that game. They beat the Texans, a team that until they faced the Baltimore defense, the only defense making everyone look good, they looked awful. And they beat the 49ers, which was admittedly their most impressive.
Very impressive,
win of the
but they
season.
haven't played a quarterback anywhere near the level of Mahomes. To your point, you're going through those quarterbacks.
Mac Jones, CJ Stroud, Jake Browning, and Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
So they haven't had to go up against an elite level play caller, an elite level or offensive quarterback yet in the league. And so I have a hard time shaking that part. I'll say you have to take them serious if they win this game tonight, even at home, because then they're 4-1. They're tied for the best record in the AFC. They've taken back-to-back what will end up being playoff teams this year in the 49ers and the Chiefs. And you will have a statement win to your name. The problem is it goes the other way for the Jags if they lose tonight. They lose tonight. Can they lose to Seattle at home next week?
That's
sure.
back-to-back games.
Can they lose to the Rams the week after that at home, Gold? They got 3 straight home games against Chiefs, Seattle, and the Rams. This is a 3-game stretch where they can either put their name in the paper as a team to take serious or eliminate themselves from any serious competition. It's the same thing. The one part I'm really curious for tonight. Chiefs teams have been very good. And in some of the ways they can exploit Lawrence, which we'll talk about in a little bit. To this point, Liam Cohen appears to have his team playing better football, playing more organized football. Their defense has significantly improved. He's made Trevor Lawrence worse? And Brian Thomas worse? I know, I'm just saying.
Made Trevor Lawrence worse. I disagree
with that. To this point, they have regressed offensively. And I don't necessarily mean like permanently worse. I'm just saying to this point, they have been a worse offense under Liam Cohen than they were even last year. So at some point, it's like, it can't just be that they win. It's that they got to win, and Trevor Lawrence has got to look like
I would say the only way I think the Jags win tonight is Trevor Lawrence has his best game of the season. You guys agree with that? I mean, I know how they've been winning to this point, which is turning over their opponent. They're +9 in turnover margin. We talked all last week about how opportunistic that unit has been on defense. And their formula, of course, is that, and that's been good enough. I think tonight, a Chiefs team that, knock on wood, has not really turned the ball over all that much. If the Chiefs have a clean game in terms of that, I don't know how the Jags win unless Trevor Lawrence has his best game of the year. Now, he might. It's capable. I find it hard.
Lawrence has his worst.
I find it hard to believe because this Chiefs defense has been their strength through the first 4 weeks of the season. Other than the Chargers game, they've been one of the best defensive units in all of football.
Yep.
I don't think suddenly they're going to stink. Now, Trevor Lawrence, it wouldn't surprise me on a Monday Night Football game and everything we're talking about in this build-up to this game, he probably will have his best game of the season. I think that is a bare minimum requirement, though, for the Jags to win this game tonight.
You're saying it'll go hand in hand. Trevor Lawrence and the offense will look more like a functional. They'll be serious because Trevor Lawrence will look good. It's just, I don't know, they've quieted the offense down or dumbed it down, and it doesn't, to me, they're not weaponless. Etienne's having a really good year. Brian Thomas, we both agree, is a stud. So
the old complimentary football is what they're playing. That's basically what they're doing at this point in time there. And I don't know if that's good enough to beat the Chiefs tonight. In fact, I don't think it is at all to beat the Chiefs. 913-586-7965. Someone says, I expect the goalposts to move if KC beats the Jags. I'm assuming they mean on the national side. I agree with you.
Here.
Last week it was, hey, well, the Ravens just stink. And then we saw what the Ravens looked like yesterday. Their defense stinks. Tonight is and we're going to talk about it more, as you said, is a confirmation type of game, I think, for the Chiefs offense. In fact, they're good. But you might be right that, the weather, Travion Walker not playing and all like, yeah, somebody out there will claim, well, we need to see it against the Lions. And then that kind of stuff will always happen. It'll drive you crazy if you let it. Because that kind of stuff will continue to happen from national shows.
After tonight, though, we'll only be one game away from the return of Rashee Rice and the full complement of the offense.
Hey.
And then 6 weeks felt like a long time to be without your number one wide receiver. And after they get through the game tonight, especially if they win, they'll be 3-2 and with a chance to go 4-2. And look, the Lions are good. There's no doubt about that. They're a solid squad who hung, nearly 40 or whatever it was on Cincinnati yesterday. So they're a kind of team you have to play your best game versus tonight. The Chiefs can play their medium level game and beat the Jags. It doesn't work that way against teams like the Lions. You have to play your best. Meanwhile, over the weekend, I thought it was worth noting because for the teams for the fans of the Royals who wanted blood, they got a little bit. The Royals fired a couple of assistant hitting coaches yesterday. Is that enough I feel like if you wanted Zoom walk on, that wasn't going to ever happen. And so now this is a little of like, we're not okay with the offensive results. We are wanting to look internally at some other options of guys who can do it. If you wanted a little blood and then this is not okay, now it's okay. At least they're doing something in my sense.
Well, it's not status quo, if that's what you mean. Yeah, it's not status quo. Moving on from two of their hitting coaches, Alex Zumwalt, clearly, I think it's very, very evident at this point in time, the relationships he has built with Bobby Witt Jr. and others is really, really important to them. I'm talking about the players even.
Yeah.
As much as it is for J.J. Piccolo. And that is something they value quite a bit. And I think it's the biggest reason why he is still in charge of the hitting side of things for this organization at the big league level. And hopefully the other two individuals that they eventually bring in, I don't know if they'll bring in two. They're firing two. Doesn't mean necessarily they'll bring in two. But whoever they bring in, will hopefully be able to work on the other side of that, not just relationships. And I'm not saying Alex Zumwalt doesn't do that, but I think the biggest asset they view right now with Alex Zumwalt is the relationships he has with the players and maybe with the front office as well.
Vinny, Bobby, all those guys.
So, yes, we've talked about this all season long. I think there's definitely risk involved with not just overhauling the whole damn thing. I mean, if you were to go back to other staff changes in the past, they didn't just fire the assistants to Cal Eldred. They fired Cal Eldred, right? So this is a little different approach.
It's a half measure.
I hope it pays off for them. There's no question, though, if this team were to get off to a slow start offensively next year, there is no more of this, well, he just, everybody likes him kind of thing, and they got a great relationship kind of thing. It'll clearly be on one person. There will be no disputing that. And I understand, and I had Vern on during Fan Club on Friday, and he brought up good points. Like, yes, the players ultimately have to perform, and there has to be the player there for you to coach as well. Meaning, last year, if you look through the lineup, outside of Vinny, Bobby, and Salvi, what were you supposed to do, with all due respect, hitting-wise, with a couple of the names that were around?
Yeah, the outfielders were never going to hit.
But it is also your job as the coach, though, to get the most out of said player. It's a
and
tough
they got
balance.
The least out of some of those guys.
I would argue that as well. So yes, I knew when at the press conference last week they mentioned there were going to be some tweaks that it likely meant somebody was not going to be around in the hitting staff once we knew that Alex Zumwalt was back. So it's more of a continued conversation when we get to spring training. But
hey, not the same voices. Yeah. Somebody else for Zumwalt to kick ideas around with.
We'll get back to some football. Don't forget, Monday's football coverage is presented by Busey Bank, where they're focused on your success. At Busey Bank, they've been building business and growing wealth since 1868. Learn more at buseybank.com. Up next, we got another update on the Mark Sanchez situation in Indianapolis, and one thing that has not worked against Trevor Lawrence.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Beautiful weather this week in Kansas City as the warm weather continues, but as fall around the corner, build your dream deck. Thanks to All Weather Decks, the right deck at the right price. A 24-time winner of Angie's List Super Service Award. What I like about it is you're going to build this deck around what your dream outdoor space is. Maybe your dream is always to have the fire pit around the covered porch, or a covered patio like I've got on the back porch, which is great for the bugs. You can see pictures and a map of their work all over on their website. You can see the list of the awards they've gotten. That way you know what kind of project. You can get inspiration if you want from their outdoor kitchens, covered decks, composite decks, wood decks, and so much more. Or just describe to them what it is you're looking for. The process is so easy. Walked in, I'm like, hey, here are the things I'm looking at. What do you guys think? They're like, here's what it would look like with a wood deck. Here's what a picture would look like with a composite. Let me just give you some ideas of where this could fit or how you want this space to build. They want it to be your dream deck and at the right price because they're Kansas City's most respected deck builder. Schedule a free estimate today. That's right, a free estimate today at allweatherdecks.net or give them a call, 913-206-1974.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Choosing the best doctor for your eyes is one of the most important medical decisions you'll ever make. Whether you're considering blade-free LASIK, all laser cataract surgery, and premium lens implants, or want a world-renowned doctor to help with your glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eyes, or diabetes, trust my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein. Call Silverstein Eye Centers to make an appointment, 816-358-3600. Experience the best eye care in Kansas City.
The FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets. From yards to touchdowns to who will win, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Tonight, FanDuel's giving all customers a 30% profit boost token. Maybe you want to use that on Brenton Strange, the tight end for Jacksonville, to go over his receiving yards, or Xavier Worthy to go over his rushing yards. That's right, you can get in on the action with a 30% profit boost token this Monday night. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/Alex to bet on the game. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
It's football season, and I can't wait for the games. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs. I just head to Hy-Vee the day after any game and score savings at the pump with my Hy-Vee Perks card. Win or lose, I earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents per gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. The more we score, the more I save only at Hy-Vee. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Designed for working adults focused on the future. Classes start October 15th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Now is a great time to tell you about our friends over at Centric. Did you know that October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month?
And that cybersecurity threats are increasing every year, and you can work on a career in that over at Centric. From identity theft to data breaches, staying safe online is more important than ever, which means companies are looking to hire Centric grads in order to protect their business from cybercrime.
Yeah, that's why Centric, they offer hands-on training. They're going to prepare you for a career protecting people and businesses from cybercrime, as you were saying, Cody. Of course, you can go to Centric.com. It's that easy. You go to Centric.com, you learn more. You schedule a meeting with our friend Russ Mondry.
96.5 The Fan is your exclusive home for Chiefs football, with pregame starting 3 hours before kickoff with Josh Briscoe. Then it's the call of the game with Mitch Holtis, Dayton Hughes, and Josh Klingler.
Caught! Touchdown! Kansas City! Travis Kelce owning this game!
Followed by postgame coverage featuring exclusive one-on-one interviews with Andy Reid and Chiefs players inside the locker room. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Coming up in about 6 minutes, we'll get to one thing that teams have not been able to do well against Trevor Lawrence, despite maybe the overall numbers not looking good. There's one thing that they have done all right on offense there in Jacksonville, so we'll get back to that in just a second. But during the break, right before we went to break, there was an update on this bizarre story I'm sure you guys all saw yesterday, and that is involving Mark Sanchez, the former Jets quarterback, Fox Sports commentator who was in Indianapolis on Friday because he was scheduled to be on the broadcast for Raiders and Colts. The news came out Saturday morning. At first, it was kind of presented as, hey, he was robbed, right? That was initially, I think Adam Schefter sent out this tweet like, an attempted robbery. Oh, my gosh.
And everyone's like, oh,
Mark
no,
Sanchez
that's
is
so bad.
in the hospital. Like, oh, this is really, really scary stuff. Then more details came out, and we just got some more information as well at Indianapolis that, in fact, it's Mark Sanchez, who, of course, has been charged with a couple of misdemeanors, but now got a little more serious for Mark Sanchez. The latest report, this was tweeted out by Tom Pelissero, but I guess there was a press conference in Indianapolis that they announced that the former NFL quarterback now also faces a level 5 felony battery charge, which carries a 1 to 6 year sentence. For those not familiar with exactly what happened, it's alleged that basically he was acting erratically, reeking of booze, slurring his words when he body slammed an elderly grease truck driver just before Sanchez was stabbed in the chest in Indianapolis. The 69-year-old driver said he stabbed Sanchez several times in self-defense after the attack, telling the cops, quote, "This guy is trying to kill me." This is according to court documents. Again, it's all alleged. But just a bizarre, crazy story that came out over the weekend.
Are we sure he's just drunk? Like, how drunk do you have to get to just start picking a fight in the cab of a truck of some random 69-year-old delivery driver? And the report said he was, like, running sprints in the back of it?
Yeah, wind sprints in the alley of the Indy bar where the incident occurred.
Could you imagine if you were trying to defend yourself? First off, Mark Sanchez is in some very serious trouble. The fact that they updated the charges so that he could be charged with some felonies means he's going to need a much better lawyer than the one who would just handle the misdemeanor crimes that he was being accused of before. But, like, I just can't imagine, Gold, if all of a sudden you're fending off an attack in an alleyway and you're like, Mark Sanchez, don't! Why are you doing this? Why am I being assaulted by Mark Sanchez out of nowhere?
Celebrity or not, man, someone's overly intoxicated. Anybody's capable of like, it doesn't matter. Like, I know what you're saying, but like, he's no different than anybody else.
I know. It would just be a very weird realization when you realized it was former NFL and USC quarterback Mark Sanchez.
But I mean, like in general, clearly, and who knows? Again, it's all alleged and everything. But
yeah,
and I don't know.
I mean,
more
obviously
details.
the injuries are very real because he was stabbed, and I've seen the photos of the 69-year-old delivery driver, and he was clearly injured.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what led to everything. It sure seems like from the outside that Mark Sanchez was extremely drunk, and obviously,
and the reporter wouldn't let the guy leave. You just try to like take over the situation. So weird. Like, I guess what part of this is, Gold, is like, what the hell is Mark Sanchez doing? Why is he just randomly drunk in Indianapolis
Well, and and that's where the stuff that we don't have information for. Like, who knows, right? I mean, more details come out, the stuff that none of us were privy to. Is this somebody that's had a problem with this before? Not in terms of getting in a fight, but
just having a consumption
issue.
Who
knows, right? I have no idea. Really, really bizarre story from the weekend happening in Drew's hometown of Indianapolis.
Yeah, I know.
Drew, are you familiar with this area, the bar that he was at and everything?
Yeah, at a Lockmiller's. Yeah, that's.
Is that a popular spot? Is that a good area of town and everything?
Yeah, it's a fine area. It's not. I haven't been there before. It's not. It's kind of away from the other
entertainment
pubs and eateries, I guess, if you will. Like it's on Washington Street, which connects to the Circle, but it's more on Meridian where you get to a lot of the bars and stuff.
Okay.
So this one's kind of a little bit more out of the way, but I know where this is at.
Terrible situation. I mean, he's got. I mean, not only for the gentleman, obviously, that this in his 60s, but also, I mean, Mark Sanchez has a wife and kids, so it's a terrible situation.
Do we know? I thought about it yesterday and I didn't look. Do we know if who they brought in to
Brady
call
Quinn was
the game?
on. Yeah, Brady Quinn was on the call.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
of the Raiders Colts blowout yesterday.
That's a weird combination of players.
You're doing
the Notre Dame,
and all of a sudden
the
you get
Notre
a phone
Dame
call.
USC part of that becomes kind of funny, I guess, in a weird way. I just can't imagine being the person responsible for the butt fumble and having a more embarrassing moment than that. Like you're getting in fist fights with 69-year-old delivery drivers in an alley in Indianapolis for just no reason. And obviously the reason being allegedly that he was drunk and then intoxicated, and then these two people got into an altercation.
Like,
but I mean, they're not charging the delivery driver right now.
Not that it would have
yet.
Not that it would have excused any of this behavior by any means, but like, was he just randomly go up to him? Was this guy taunting him about the butt fumble 20 years later? Like, what's the?
It wouldn't matter.
I know. I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out what made, or was he just so drunk that like anybody that was walking around, that was who he was going to pick a fight with? I don't know. I mean, we've all seen drunk fights before at a bar. It's just this involves a celebrity. I have this one resulted in a stabbing.
I will say this was an all-timer, as the text line was pointing out from the 913. This is an all-timer in the. You probably did a little bit too much. My heart goes out. I hope that he's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
There were a lot of those.
Little early on he's one of the nicest people I've ever met. As it turns out, he got into a very serious brawl with a near 70-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like those tweets aged kind of poorly.
Yeah, people.
I mean, honestly, hoping he's okay.
For sure. But I think you're right. The way it was presented initially from a lot of national folks was that he was robbed. Like that was the initial reporting that Mark Sanchez was in a robbery, got stabbed. And you're thinking, oh my gosh. But yeah, I know it's still alleged, but it all sounds like no. Mark Sanchez was the individual here who actually instigated everything.
Last thing on this, very serious. Obviously, I'm not trying to make light of this gentleman's probably very real fear that took place. There is part of me that wants to imagine it one way because it's much funnier. It's like a movie scene. If the entire time he's trying to reason with him saying his full name, as in like, Mark Sanchez, please. Why are you doing this? Mark, this makes no sense. It's just my truck. Mark Sanchez, please. I just want to leave. I don't understand. And he just knows who he is the entire time. I don't think he does or did know.
Didn't at the time. Didn't at the time.
Probably does now.
Yeah.
That's got to be a weird thing to find out too. You're sitting in the hospital and you're like, oh, by the way, we found out the person who assaulted you is former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez. You're like, ooh, I don't quite remember the name. Remember the butt fumble? And he's like, oh, got it. Totally understand.
Just, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what the ultimate end result is, but now there's at least one felony charge attached to this incident there in Indianapolis. Our Indianapolis insider, Drew Nixon, gave us the lowdown on all the location and everything.
Yeah, everybody was like slamming the city, It's
no, but you know what? But to Cody's point about the early tweets, did you see, not to go down this road too much, but did you see like the governor sent out a tweet and all this stuff, like people trying to get their name involved? Like it was kind of pathetic. Yeah, the governor and the mayor of the city were like already sending out tweets about the incident yesterday or 2 days ago. It was just kind of a crazy scenario.
It was the biggest story of the week.
Someone says it was over parking. I have no idea if they were arguing about park. I don't know if that's a joke or that's a real thing.
In the story, reportedly, Mark Sanchez was trying to tell the guy that he couldn't park his truck there. Why he was inserting himself into that situation, I don't. But that's what the story did. The affidavit said that the delivery driver said that he was telling him he couldn't park there, and he's like, okay, whatever.
All right, drunk guy.
Yeah, like how the rest of us would respond in that situation. Cool, drunk guy. I think I probably know where I can park my delivery truck. Whatever it was. But that reportedly was part of where the start fighted.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on that if there's anything new.
Yeah,
it's probably
for real.
going to be a long time.
I mean, he's
before
not going to
there's
keep his
yeah.
job.
No, that's over. I mean, that's a hell of a 24-hour stretch. You got stabbed, you got arrested, you got charged with a felony, and you probably lost your broadcast career. That's a rough 24-hour span there.
Yeah.
Let's get back into the Chiefs, though. And you were doing some digging on how Trevor Lawrence handles the blitz in particular.
Well, I was trying to decide how the Chiefs need to attack this game like any other, right? When we make predictions, what's the best path for them to get in there? Look, the blitzes aren't going to work. That has been the absolute staple of the Chiefs defense so far this year. And I'm not saying it's at a 0%, and because, sometimes Spags dials one up late in the game that still goes through Gold. But the odds of the blitz working are significantly less. Trevor Lawrence has only been sacked 3 times this year. He's been sacked 0 times in half of their games, so he's been sacked twice and once in the other 2 games. He gets rid of the ball faster than just about anybody else in the NFL. So, he doesn't give you time to get to him or for the blitz to get to him unless you're going to get there in 2.57 seconds, which the only quarterback getting rid of the ball faster than that is Aaron Rodgers, another not mobile quarterback. The only thing I'm trying to figure out is, does this actually, normally I would say this is how the Jags have success. Chiefs have to blitz. You definitely can't get there in 2.57 seconds with your defensive ends the way they're playing right now. Blitzes take longer to develop. How are you going to get there, right? But the other side of this is that the Chiefs are the #1 efficiency team in deep ball defense this year in the NFL. And the Jags are the worst deep ball offense in the NFL. So maybe you don't have to get to Trevor Lawrence. And tonight's game is about one thing and one thing only: tackling. Hitting a guy before he gets much further. They're not going to take a bunch of deep shots according to this. If they do, it's a bad sign for the Chiefs defense, I'll say. It's a bad sign for the game in general. But if it's just about keeping the guys in front of you, I actually think that's an okay thing for the Chiefs.
I just wonder, both teams, tendency breakers and things like that. This is a tendency. The Chiefs are well aware of it. The Jags are, able to self-scout a little bit. They understand how they're performing in this certain area. I'll be curious. This is where Spags is so great at adjusting. What's the initial plan out of the gate, opening drive? The Jags scripted plays, Spags and how, kind of feeling things out a little bit and how they're approaching the game. And then what's the adjustment? In week 1, everybody thought the Chargers were just going to run against the Chiefs. What did they do? All they did was pass the football. So the Jags, while the numbers are saying, hey, they don't take shots down the field. Tonight, maybe they do tonight. You know what I mean? What's that adjustment? Brian Thomas is off to a slow start.
And the Chiefs have been good against #1 wide receivers.
Are they going to lock him down? Yeah, really. And he's not a #1. But yeah, Quinn Johnston is the
is he?
Ladd McConkey's a #1. Even if the numbers don't show that so far this year, I don't think there's any dispute. Ladd McConkey is the #1 receiver for the Chargers. Statistically, he's like the third receiver.
Statistically, it's been Quentin Johnson this year, but yeah, I don't disagree.
Anyway, but to your point, though, Cody, what they did against A.J. Brown, what they were able to do against Malik Neighbors, they have had success against the top-tier weapons. So who's the next guy that you would have to step up for Jacksonville? This is obviously where ETN has been so successful. Their tight end, Brenton Strange, is someone that'll probably have a nice night tonight. Would not surprise me if you're looking at prop bets. I would take the over on his. I think that's an area where the Jags could have some success tonight.
I do think that there's something to that. But again, this feels like a good... We talk about this all the time. It's about matchups. This is a great matchup on paper for the Chiefs defense, even though Trevor Lawrence doesn't get sacked by anybody. So what does it matter if you don't get sacks? The Chiefs aren't a good sack team. They have to blitz to get pressure. Well, no one's getting pressure on him. He gets rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds. They don't allow for pressure to occur, which means they also don't have much of a deep passing game where the Chiefs' strength already exists. On paper, this appears to me to be a very good matchup for the way they play. So either what you're saying is going to happen. The Jags are going to be like, no, we got to change course. Time to get the ball down the field, and we're going to sit back a little bit. Or the Chiefs are going to have to get pressure hurried and with blitzes and not delayed blitzes. Not the ones where in the Lamar Jackson week where they had Nick Bolton sitting in the spy and he just kept going to apply pressure, but instead somebody's kind of going immediately to see if whether or not they can snap him into it.
Yeah, the way Spags has been approaching so far this year, I mean, there'll be something that they haven't done in a while or all year that they'll catch the Jags off guard with. I fully expect that. You mentioned the Nick Bolton situation. There will be something else that they have. This is where I don't panic off of one drive. Let's say the Jags march right down the field on the opening drive. Anybody panicking after that, I think hasn't watched enough over the last couple of years or paid enough attention. So it's the adjustment part of it. So first drive, if you're Jacksonville and your opening drive, you don't move the ball against the Chiefs defense, That's a problem because that's the one time where you maybe have a chance to get. If you look when
Expose
the Chiefs
them a
have been
little, yeah.
exposed defensively, other than the Week 1 game where it was a mess all the way around, opening drives, some teams have moved the ball against them. But usually, as the game goes on, the Chiefs are able to settle in defensively. I fully expect that to be the case again tonight.
I think it's a good matchup on paper, despite the fact that Trevor Lawrence doesn't get sacked. The fact that he hasn't been sacked and he is still this bad, so far, statistically, he has been a bad quarterback, below average, like the 22nd best quarterback in the NFL, which is concerning, I would think, for their fans and for him in general. Genuinely, other than Etienne and Brian Thomas, though, there aren't like some ton of threats. Tootin's been good, but the man only gets a handful of carries a game, maybe
but
less.
not on the field much, yeah.
Yeah, like if you let up a dynamic run, I guess you could run into a little bit of trouble. But you're not going to do that pretty regularly. Right now, their leading wide receiver is Brenton Strange, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter is their third leading receiver. He only is at 118 yards. They've been a pretty non-threatening one. This is always the thing that I like for Chiefs matchups because they have not been a blowout team very much over the last 3 years. That's not been their staple. That's not how they win football games. Not even how I expect them to win the game tonight. But there's a clear pathway to that tonight because there's a way in which the Jags just can't move the ball at all. And the Chiefs kind of get up on you a little bit. And then you're completely out of your game because your best weapon, ETN, is out of the game plan. And you do have to try to go downfield and find players downfield. They don't have a good selection of weapons because Travis Hunter hasn't developed into a star yet. That's really the difference.
Coming up in 12 minutes, we'll talk more about the Chiefs offense and what needs to happen this evening and maybe a confirmation game, at least is what I would call it, for the Chiefs offense for a lot of people to fully buy back in that regard. But let's talk a little baseball briefly, MLB postseason over the weekend. Again, I still think Friday night they should have started some of these AL and NLDS series when there was nothing else going on. To me, yes, it was a quadruple header on Saturday, but it was right in the middle of college football. Then yesterday you have games going on during NFL games. I just think Major League Baseball could have spotlighted itself a little bit better. I'll be quite honest. I didn't watch as much baseball this weekend as I would have if I would have had a game on a Friday night, just because of the college football aspect of it as well. But right now, here's where things stand. You've got one series with the Tigers and the Mariners tied at a game apiece. The Mariners got it done yesterday. Their first home postseason win in 24 years. You have Toronto.
Crazy.
Toronto just spanking the Yankees. I mean, embarrassed. It's been fun to see. Yeah,
me some joy.
Putting up double-digit runs in each of the first two games. They have a 2-0 lead before the series shifts over to the Bronx.
Vladdy pimped the hell out of that grand slam yesterday.
The Dodgers are up 1-0 against Philly. They play tonight. And then you have Milwaukee with the 1-0 lead on the Cubs. They also play this evening. So that's where things are at on the postseason side of things. I think what was impressed about Seattle is they drop game one and you're like, oh no, you're in trouble. You got now Skubal to go up against. No, they go and get him for 2 runs yesterday, which against him is a big accomplishment. Yeah, it's a major win. And now they're even. Now, that's one of those seasons, it's as tight as it can get because if you're the Tigers, you're still glad you stole one while you were in Seattle. You're feeling like, dang it, we got one in game 1 and we had our ace on the mound, one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, and we lost the game he pitched. So if you're the Tigers, you're probably a little bummed that you didn't take 2, but both teams are probably feeling decent about where they sit with 1 game apiece.
That series feels like it's gearing up for a great one. 7 games, it's coming down to it. Whose star shows up in game 7 kind of series. That one's been the most fun of the postseason by far of any of them. The wild card round or this one, I've loved that series, and it's only 2 games in because it feels like it's got real juice back and forth. Teams are competing. I like it. And it's got star power, right? Because Cal Raleigh is one of the biggest names this year. I've taken the most joy in watching Toronto kicking the teeth of the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
I understand they were in the World Series last year. I'm not trying to pretend that that's not an accomplishment in some ways. Not when you're the Yankees. The Yankees, my entire life and everyone's entire lives, Gold. I don't care if you were you're my grandpa and you're born in 1930, or you're me and you're born in 84. It doesn't matter. Our entire lives conjoin together. The New York Yankees were the gold standard of Major League Baseball. That's what they were. They haven't won a World Series since 2009, 6 years before the last Royals World Series. And I get it. The Mariners are not the kind of team that, they've never won one, right? So they're in a different category. But then the Blue Jays just absolutely poured on you. And this is the thing I've also liked about the postseason and just baseball in general. I think it was pointed out by one of the national media baseball guys. I like that rookies can matter, or young players can matter in the MLB postseason right away. Kind of like we get in other sports. The guy going yesterday for the Blue Jays got drafted in 2024. And at one point was in the 4th inning against the Yankees with 10 strikeouts and no hits. Like, I like that they're just getting beat up and obliterated. That's brought me some joy. But also, like, I like when the series are close. So obviously the Tigers-Mariners one's been great. I'm looking forward to the 2 series tonight.
Yeah, the Brewers, to me, what they are, because of past issues in the postseason, they just get overlooked. They were the best team in the majors all year, and the Brewers have had really good regular seasons before, and then they kind of crap the bed in the postseason. Well, big one to get right away at home, and kind of, I think, kind of ease the nerves. The teams that had the layoff, sometimes we get this rest debate, rest versus rust. The teams that had the like Toronto came out, they had the longer layoff. They looked amazing offensively right away. No problem. Milwaukee came out in the first 2 innings and laid it on the Chicago Cubs in game 1 as well. So now that the series are kind of settled in and everybody had the day off, at least on the NL side, yesterday, we'll see what happens tonight. The Dodgers and Phillies is that juggernaut type of series where you have potential for both teams to just go and put up some ridiculous numbers offensively. Toronto, what was impressive about them, and the reason why it was great to see their offense perform that way, they had the highest ERA of any team in the postseason entering. And so it didn't really matter. I mean, they got good pitching, but also it didn't matter when you're scoring 15 runs a game, 13 runs a game.
And sorry, the ALDS is 5 games, not 7. I'd said 7. But so when you look at...
the divisional series are only 5.
The divisional series are 5.
Yep.
I'd take 7 of that series, but that's what makes these series so interesting. Why the Yankees are done. Gold, they're done. That series is over. They looked lifeless to go in there, and that part of it is always where they head next. The series tonight, what game interests you more of the two?
I mean, Dodgers-Phillies has more. Now, I'll be honest, though. The issue is
I'm sick of watching the Dodgers. That's part of it. And the Chiefs,
obviously. The Chiefs are on, so I'm not watching. But the Phillies and Dodgers.
What would the score have to be for you to go split screen?
There is no score. When the Chiefs are on, I don't split screen Chiefs games.
Not even if it was 30-0?
I don't split screen Chiefs games. Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
The only time I ever did that was last year when the Chiefs were playing the Saints on Monday night and the Royals had a divisional game against the Yankees.
Oh, that's different. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only time I split screen the Chiefs. Otherwise, it gets full screen treatment tonight.
It gets full screen no matter what.
Yeah. You can, by the way, check out.
Like it was fourth quarter. The game's 2-2 in the 8th.
You
Chiefs
didn't
are up 30-0
last week when they were up by 30 on the Ravens.
I was at the game in the press box. So
yeah,
I did split screen. Technically, I had it in front of me, and my laptop had. I did have a true split screen. No, but if you follow us on Instagram or Twitter tonight, they've handed me the keys to social media, so I will be doing videos at halftime.
You got to do one shirtless, all right? I think you got.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. I was going to ignore.
There's not time. We'll get to that.
I was going to ignore because I think you did it to troll now, and so I wanted to not give it any attention today on the show and just see your reaction and wonder why we didn't bring it up. But now it has to be addressed at some point. Anybody that followed Instagram on Saturday.
It's going to get crazier and crazier as the season goes on.
The fact that you did a shirtless running video from the station account just to promote something that you were going to do later on the day is wild in its own right. And
we will talk about it later.
We will get
there.
Yeah.
There's not time now.
But by the way, Sports Talk on 96.5 The Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you could always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Up next, let's talk about the Chiefs offense. And I do think it is a confirmation game. I'll explain that next.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Chris Jones. You're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Well, we're in the heart of football season, and just as it was in week 1, the same as it is now, the players that you love cheering for have to perform at their very best when it matters most, and every game matters most. And, you should also be able to perform and be more confident where it counts. I'm talking about Blue Chew, a small chew for a big difference. You have flashbacks to your glory days, and day nights just got longer and better for everyone because showing up matters during life's most exciting moments. Be ready when she is. And guys, this isn't just about performance. Give her group chat something to talk about. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. You can discover your options at BlueChew.com, and there's a special deal for you. Get your first month of Blue Chew free when you use our promo code KFNZ at checkout. You discover $5 for shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code KFNZ to get your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That's our philosophy at GiveMeTheVin.com. We love to buy cars. Fat ones, skinny ones, curvy ones, fast ones, slow ones, round ones, and square ones. Yes, square body Chevys. We buy them at GiveMeTheVin.com. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com right now, put yours in, and get a quote. We'd love to buy it. GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/royal rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Schedule your home improvement project while the weather is still nice with Powell Exteriors KC. They offer easy financing, pay no interest until 2027, a 10-year workmanship warranty, and their extended summer sale. PowellExteriorsKC.com. The power of KC is Powell Exteriors KC.
FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. You can bet everything from the money line to over-unders to which team will win it all. You'll be able to build parlays, bet player props, or even ride the live line. Whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can pick which player will score the next touchdown or the touchdown after that. However you play your game, FanDuel's got your back. On December 1st, you'll be able to see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This fall, refresh your home with a special offer from Westlake Ace Hardware. Enjoy $10 off bin interior paint gallons, October 1st through 31st. With an easy-to-apply, easy-to-maintain formula, Bin Interior offers an introduction into the beauty and durability of Benjamin Moore premium paint. Hurry into Westlake Ace Hardware for this limited-time savings and keep your spaces looking beautiful for years to come. Offer valid in-store only, so visit Westlake Ace Hardware today. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Calling all Chiefs fans. You could be on the field at the 50 inside GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Visit Chiefs.com/GEHA now. Enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pregame coin toss.
Call it in the air.
Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is a proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
Introducing your new Dell PC with the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps you handle a lot, even when your holiday to-do list gets to be a lot. Like organizing your holiday shopping and searching for great holiday deals and customer questions and customers requesting custom things, plus planning the perfect holiday dinner for vegans, vegetarians, pescatarians, and Uncle Mike's carnivore diet. Luckily, you can get a PC with all-day battery life to help you get it all done. That's the power of a Dell PC with Intel inside, backed by Dell's price match guarantee. Get yours today at Dell.com/deals. Terms and conditions apply. See Dell.com for details.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Designed for working adults focused on the future. Classes start October 15th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Wildcat fans, this is Wyatt Thompson. Tune in all season long to the play-by-play of the 2025 football season, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
11 o'clock hour. We're slowing things down a little bit here, I guess, on a game day.
Jeez, relax.
Need some hype up music, man.
I don't know what we're doing.
Chiefs game day.
It is game day in Kansas City. The Chiefs taking on the Jags. Pre-game coverage begins at 4 right here on your home for the Chiefs, 96.5 The Fan. Because Drew brought it up, let's just address the elephant in the room, I guess. I wasn't going to bring it up because I think Drew wanted us to bring it up, is where I'm now convinced.
I did not.
But Drew brought it up on his own last segment. Anybody that follows our social media may have noticed something on Saturday, and I want to personally apologize, actually, on behalf of this show.
We have decency standards?
We want to apologize.
This is an above-board show?
I want to apologize on behalf of the show for the video that was put out there Saturday afternoon in the middle of your nice, relaxing Saturday. You're out with the kids at the park, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to scroll through Instagram, and you all of a sudden were greeted by a running Drew Nixon shirtless trying to talk to you about college football. I don't know. There was a lot of other elements of the video we could break down.
Why were you shirtless?
I was on a run.
Sure.
Okay, but why didn't you just do the video before you run?
Well, I did that.
On the station account.
I did that already last week.
Okay, but like that's how social media videos are. So you were trying to change the location of the video.
Yep.
And you decided, again, I don't think anybody on this station should be shirtless on the station.
I agree.
You have to just stay tuned to how this upcoming week goes. Ahead of the Alabama.
You gonna take your pants off? What's left?
No.
Well, what's the next stage? What kind of threat is that? He's threatening me with nudity.
I didn't.
You did just say, "Oh, wait till you thought me shirtless on our station account, wasn't it? Wait till next week."
I probably should have phrased it differently. But no,
I mean, you're a step away. Where
seriously,
you're like,
what is the next step? You're going to be doing a yo-yo? Is it like tricks?
I'm convinced you're soft launching an OnlyFans account, and you're using the station platform to do it.
No. It has something to do with what we've joked about on the show, particularly when I'm outside, and another preview video for the weekend slate as well.
So I got to see your hip bones?
No.
Low shorts?
No, it's not that.
Well, we did make fun of that.
It's not that.
Okay. What other thing? The mirror selfie?
I got something new that I'm going to wear.
Is it the Hooters outfit you're getting ahead of it?
No.
You sound like you're describing a potential launch into OnlyFans.
Yeah. I got something new I want to try out and show you. Like, what?
I don't want to see it. Whatever it is.
Oh
I'm going to be staying away from the station Instagram account.
We're trying to build our audience.
Follow our Instagram page, all right?
He's about to get us shadowed,
Our
man.
station demographic isn't really looking for that, Drew. What the heck?
I'm not going
Someone says Drew's about to have baby oil all over. Oh, my gosh. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Drew likes whiteouts. We know other people who like to white, the parties at his house, right?
Yo,
Didn't they wear all white for those?
Mm-hmm.
Some commonality all of a sudden. Just your threat makes no sense. You're shirtless.
It's not a threat. I'm
the
just
only
telling you.
next step is you're like either shirtless kissing your bicep or your pants
not gonna happen.
are
That's not gonna
exposing.
happen.
I mean, there's only so many steps it can take.
It's neither of those things. And I guess if I've sold it as that, it's going to underwhelm, I suppose.
I just,
There will not be.
Interesting.
I will not be shirtless in this upcoming one. At
Thank
least that's
goodness.
the plan.
Thank goodness.
All right.
Nobody needed to see that. Nobody needed to see that on Saturday.
I weigh more than 90 pounds. I promise. It's from the text line. Drew weighs 90 pounds soaking wet. That was a little bit more than that, but.
I mean, yeah. But
You're not too far off. Only for 40 pounds. But yeah.
Oh, man. Someone just says, please, dear God, no banana hammock.
Yeah. Someone else says Drew is just getting the Hooters bet payoff
He's getting in
warmed
shape
up.
for it.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Smart, honestly. After they've lost 3 in a row after winning the first 2. Turns out Jake Browning, not so good.
Anyway, apologize on behalf of the show.
Hey, go
follow us on
us
Instagram.
on Instagram.
I don't know, this is our best advertisement.
We'll also be reacting
Instagram.
live. Hey, we'll also be reacting live right after the Missouri-Alabama game, as we have reacted to all the games throughout all the week of the all the weeks of the college football season. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with
I've
y'all.
learned too from the video, real quick. If the video's gone, so I can't play the audio. I learned Weekend Drew is a completely different vibe based on the way you talked in the video. Everything you were trying to sound very cool and everything and hip. It was a completely different Drew Nixon vibe in that video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You think he changed up his personality?
Completely different
cool
person.
guy Drew on the weekend.
Oh, very much say, "What's up, y'all? I'll be right here." Oh, it was very much that. It was very
I think
much that.
It's more of
Do you not feel like you
I
can?
suppose.
Well, then be that way in the show. Why are you not being yourself?
It was very different, Drew. I had not seen that before.
I want real Drew on this show.
I wish I had
think
the audio of it.
We're getting fake Drew.
I think I definitely talk. I don't know if I talk similar to that, but there's definitely some moments where I'm being myself on the show, and I act the way that I do in regular life.
I'm about to watch one of these videos.
So we'll see. We'll see. Check out college football videos.
Or on Instagram. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have a game tonight on Monday Night Football. And I've decided, and I think it's probably a fair way for us all to handle this, this is the benchmark test. Is the Chiefs offense for real? I'll be honest. I didn't think it was fair to move the goalpost on the Ravens game because they played a nearly perfect game of offense. But let's also look at it in the mirror a little bit. The Ravens are making everyone look like Tom Brady in the middle of his 17-0 regular, 16-0 regular season. He's got people look at CJ Stroud carved him up yesterday. The week before was Mahomes. It doesn't matter the opponent. The Ravens are letting every single quarterback do absolute numbers against them. So, for a team that is 4th in the NFL in points per game in the Jags, get good pressure, are mostly healthy. I know the reports are from Ian Rappaport that Trayvon Walker is unlikely to play the game tonight. They're mostly healthy with most of their weapons and have been consistently one of the better defenses in the NFL from most metrics. This is the test. Is your offense good with Worthy? Is it okay? And look, there can still be improvement with Rice. But was what I saw last week at least partially true? I'm looking at this game like that tonight.
It is a confirmation game, and I get it. You know, there's some people that are 100% all in what they saw against the Ravens, and it's good to go, offense full go, never looking back, all that. And that might be the case. But I understand there's probably a huge chunk of not just Chiefs fans, but I know nationally because we've heard it. We've played clips of it. We've seen it for the last week post-Ravens game. People said, all right. That's just the Ravens team that had 8 starters out and all that kind of stuff. So they have an opportunity tonight to show that, no, with Worthy on the field, that is what our offense is capable of.
We're dangerous again.
And wait till all of a sudden Rashee Rice is part of this thing, and this offense is going to be one of the better offenses in football. That's what tonight has a chance to be. Now, ultimately, just find a way to win the football game, right? We're all on the same page there.
Yeah, I agree.
But in terms of feeling like the offense truly has put everything else behind them, tonight's a big one for that. Also knowing for people to feel better about what's to come, because this next game, which is less than a week away now, the Lions are playing on Sunday Night Football against Kansas City, and we know what their offense is capable of doing. If you talk about needing to get in a shootout or whatever, that Lions offense, all the worry after week 1 looks silly. That offense is fully good to go in Detroit again. They got everything working. So I look at tonight, you said it, like a prove-it game, confirmation game, however you want to phrase it. I totally am on the same page, and I think most people are as well. Just show that last week wasn't a fluke. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I look at their opponents so far this year. The Chargers, who they faced, 8th best points per game defense after giving up some points the last couple of weeks. They had previously been number 1. They obviously will face, as we mentioned, the number 4 ranked points per game defense. Philly is currently 16th in points per game, and as we know, the Ravens are dead last. Awful. So it's like they haven't faced a defense who through 5 games of the year, 4 games of the year for these two teams, as performing at this rate. All the other top defenses in the NFL are teams they just haven't faced, if we're being honest. Houston, Denver, those are the number 1 and number 2 ranked defenses in points per game. Indianapolis is number 3. That is not the 3 teams I was expecting, number 1, 2, and 3. Denver, maybe. The rest, no. Arizona's 6th best. Minnesota's 7th. Not the teams, again, you would expecting. Not teams they faced. I want them to prove that even without Rashee Rice, and I don't mean 40 points, Gold. I just want them to prove that they can move the ball, score points, so that without Rashee Rice, because they are still going to have to do that, to your point, against Detroit. Detroit's not some team you're beating 20-17. I don't care how good your defense is playing. Detroit is going to put up some points. Like they're just going to put up some points.
I would be shocked if it was a 20-17 game next Sunday.
Yeah.
Tonight, it's weird. Tonight, though, against
Tonight's
Jacksonville,
not out of the question, sure.
Tonight we'll give our official score, but I think, if you told me the Chiefs got to 24 points, I think it's probably enough tonight based on the Chiefs defense and what the Jags have done. I can't remember, our social media clip may already be out there, but I'm somewhere in that 28 range for the Chiefs. So as far as how many points I think they score tonight, just based on what we've seen for the Chiefs defense, they're in a spot now where these are not the days of where you thought, hey, because your defense is so, 3 years ago, you got the Chiefs better get to 28 because their defense is going to give up 26 or 28. We're long past that. You kind of back to the sense of if the offense is good enough to get to 28, you feel like you're going to win most of these games.
Well, and Jacksonville's been a mediocre offense, so you should be able to hold them down. They've been no different really than you. And the Chiefs offense just got Xavier Worthy back, so you're supposed to be a better team. Look, Detroit scores 34.8 points per game. Not shocking. Number 1 in the NFL in that category. And so I just feel like I want this test tonight against a defense that can get pressure, that limits points, that's really good in the red zone, that gets sacks. They don't do anything, I think, in the elite level category. Like, I don't look at them and be like, that's the best pass rush in the NFL. That's the best secondary. But they also don't have any major flaws. There's no part of their defense that you're like, oh, they can't stop the run, they can't stop the pass, they're bad against deep pass, bad against... No, they're just kind of all around good. And if you're kind of all around good, that's a really good test for an offense that has at least one of their major weapons back for a week. And I understand he's questionable going into the game tonight. All the reports are that was precautionary and that he should be good to go for the game. But
he's playing tonight. Yeah.
The Ravens defense, admittedly, the one game where you saw the Chiefs light up the scoreboard, the Ravens defense looks like it's Cincinnati's from. It looks like the worst defense in the NFL.
They are.
They look lost.
Some of it is injury, and some of it is just they don't have the entire defensive scheme that work in the way it was in the past. Like there's a limitation. Yes, injury is why it probably looks this bad.
But they were going to be bad.
They were not going to be a good defense with some of those guys. I mean, it's pathetic right now what's going on in Baltimore. We'll talk some more Chiefs-Jags coming up during the Chiefs Red Half Hour. We're also about 7 minutes away from the trash of the day. But college football, we don't usually get to talk a ton of it on Monday because usually we're reacting to a Chiefs game, but it's kind of a unique spot we're in with the game day being tonight. So let's just take a look at all three locals right now. I know Mizzou had a bye. KU and K-State were both in action. And now an updated look on how we see it finishing for these locals. We did our preseason predictions like everybody back in end of August and everything. But right now, let's start with Missouri, okay? They're 5-0. We know they have a huge test coming up against Alabama, who's number 8 in the country. Then they have games at Auburn, at Vandy. They still have a game against A&M and Oklahoma on the schedule on the road in Norman, by the way.
That is a brutal schedule.
The easier games on the paper, of course, are Mississippi State and then at Arkansas, obviously, to wrap up the season as well. Look, their path, we've kind of gone over their path more than any of the other locals. I mean, it is all there in front of them. Now, it's a very tough road. They can afford a couple losses, but if you beat Alabama, all of a sudden they go from just having a 3-1 chance to make the college football playoff to
even money, probably.
Yeah, or better. Or better. I mean, this is a huge swing, and this is a monumental test for them Saturday. I don't know. What time is the kickoff? Do we know the kickoff time? I'm sure we do, but
11
a.m., so early kick. Okay.
Is this like the second or third biggest game they've played since being in the SEC? They've had a couple of big ones.
I have to go back because they won the SEC East before.
They won the SEC title game twice.
Yeah.
So those, I know, and those are at least two of them, right?
I would say top 5 for sure.
This has got to be in that ranking.
At least.
Alabama, you got them at home. You're undefeated. The college football, the year they were in the SEC title game, Drew, had they won it, they probably are one of the final 4 teams remaining. So same thing, right? You actually get to play in the, whatever, that was a 4-team tournament, now a 12-team tournament. You actually get to play in the final part of it for a chance to win a national championship.
It's definitely up there for sure.
That's why I feel like it's maybe, it's at the very least top 5. There's no question.
Let's say they win it.
Does anyone think they're beating Alabama?
I don't think they're going to beat Bama.
It's really tough. Man.
I don't think they beat Bama, but I think they'll go to Auburn and Vandy and win. So that again, they can lose to Bama. Then if you bounce back and beat Auburn and Vandy on the road. The Bama one is if you quote unquote steal this one. I know it's a home game, but if you steal this one, then you're sitting really pretty. The rest of the way.
Well, to your point, Cody. They might not just have this one that's in that top 5 of biggest games since then, but also the Oklahoma game is I think that one is also going to be in that equation.
It might be a win
because-
and you're in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that game might be for a playoff berth for whoever wins that game.
Yeah, that definitely sets up that way. Missouri, we'll talk later in the week more about their game. Just a massive opportunity against the top 10 team in the country. Then you go to KU. They're now 4-2. They had to beat UCF.
Wasn't pretty.
It wasn't.
But it was a win.
They dug themselves a little bit of a hole. They were able to come back in that atmosphere down in UCF. And now they get number 9 Texas Tech, who looks
the top scoring team in the country.
Like the class of the Big 12 to this point in time. We already discussed the NIL money and the talent, and boy, it's paying off already for them.
In fairness, if they win this, if Kansas pulls a massive upset, what are they? 15 point? How big of underdogs are they? Anybody
the
know?
latest line, yeah, they're significant dogs.
If they buy some
this is their
miracle,
best opponent remaining,
and this is a much longer shot than the Alabama game. If they by some miracle win this game, they got a real chance of the Big 12 title game. And so that part of it has to be taken seriously.
13.5-point dogs on the road in Lubbock. It's I think a 6:30 kickoff. Yeah, 6:30 kickoff. The total for the game is 60.5. So everybody's expecting this just to be some fireworks and points all over the place. But yeah, look, their path. It depends on what we're talking about. Are we still talking Big 12 title game possibility? Are we just talking about having an 8-win season? Because look, you drop one to Tech. That's realistic. Okay, they go to 4-3. Then K-State is extremely vulnerable.
If you haven't beaten them in a billion years,
correct. All right, so let's just play it out. Okay, let's say 5-3. Oklahoma State's terrible.
Yep,
6-3. Arizona, I think, is a toss-up game.
Let's call it 6-4 since we gave them Kansas State.
Okay,
sure.
Iowa
It's a road
State.
game.
Iowa State is this is where I still think
6-5.
6-5, and then Utah is a top. I mean, so this is where I still think a 6-win season, unfortunately, is still only in play. I don't know if like the 8-win season is all that realistic for them anymore.
For Kansas, I know it would be a disappointing year just because of the quarterback you've got and how long you've had him in your program at Kansas. But for Kansas, every year in which their head's above water, they're 7 wins or better. I feel like at least as a program, you are still balancing yourself out. That truthfully, until we're 10 years into this thing and they continue to get 7 or 8 wins,
right,
that's a win for Kansas because they have to be able to prove stability over the long haul before I'm going to start putting pressure on them to be better. Missouri, they've been stable for a long time, have a schedule that favors them still overall, already started 5-0. They got pressure to get in the college football playoff again this year because they missed it last year. And then K-State, I don't even know where to start with them because that thing fell apart on them so fast.
They're 2-4. They lost on a blocked field goal after giving up a last-second field goal to Baylor down there. That was a game K-State should have had. Their path to just get to a bowl game, TCU, good luck.
Tough.
At KU, I'll still say because of the history and everything, it's a tough game, but it's not.
They can definitely win it.
Then Tech, they're not being Texas Tech. At Oklahoma State, that's a winnable game. At Utah,
that's probably a loss.
Colorado's winnable this year, but again, at that point, is K-State checked out? You don't know, right? It just depends where they're at. Are they going to get to say? Where's 4 wins on that schedule, guys?
They have to beat Kansas.
Oklahoma State, obviously, yeah. If they're going to get
Oklahoma State, KU is 2. Where are they picking up 2 more?
Colorado,
TCU,
and
Colorado,
and
Utah.
maybe TCU.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously going to be a grind to get to 6.
What's crazy is in the 4 losses, they could have won so many.
They're just like Kansas from last season.
Could have won in Ireland. Could have won yesterday.
Sure.
Like there's not a crazy. This isn't one of those like make believe homerisms.
Could have lost to North Dakota though.
Could have
right?
lost. There's a universe. That's why the Kansas comp to last year is actually really good.
Yeah.
Every game they play is close. Every game they could have won. But when's the last time? I'd have to look it up. When's the last time that Kansas State didn't get in a bowl game? Was it that 2020,
I think it's the
2019
year,
like right around
year.
there?
The first year that Kleiman was there, I think they went.
And then a couple of those years, like one of the years under Bill Snyder, I remember didn't go great. But so like maybe that year,
I don't
if it
think
wasn't
Chris
the last year
Kleiman's
of
getting
Kleiman.
fired by any stretch.
I'm not asking that, but
I mean, is anybody? I don't think anybody's like seriously having that conversation. That'd be crazy. He, to me, has been very, very, very good for that program.
I gotta say, it especially hurts or should hurt for Kansas State fans for the obvious reason. They got their guy. Avery was supposed to be their guy.
He played great on Saturday.
He did.
He was so
good. Up until he made the critical mistake at the end, Drew. He played a nearly perfect game, I would argue. Up until that one mistake in the fourth quarter, I would say he was phenomenal. But when you get your guy at quarterback, you have your star. The problem is if you miss a bowl game with Avery Johnson, and then you go through this year. Well, there's a chance he just enters the portal and he goes to play great for someone
Which is
else.
why, there's absolutely still
There's something to play for Kansas State.
100%. Which I think, and even a lot of people are mad at Matt Wells and Chris Kleiman for the late game little time management debacle, which they had where it was 2nd and goal. They threw the ball twice, both incompletions. Baylor didn't have to use their final timeout, and it gave them extra time. K-State took the lead after the Avery Johnson pick 6, but they weren't able to make enough plays when it mattered most, and as a result, they end up losing the game.
Trash of the day.
Oh, I thought we got to that at the beginning of the segment.
Nope. We're that was
not the trash of the day.
Drew's shirtless Instagram video on the. I think it's because it was on the station account made it even worse. So your personal account, you do you, man.
Yeah.
We'd still give you a hard time, but on the station account is what made it wild. Anyway, all right, let's go. This one's local-ish. It's Missouri, at least. This happened 4 or 5 days ago. Minutes after a 19-year-old allegedly vandalized 17 cars. This sounds like Cody
sucks.
in his teenage years. This is all basically a Cody story.
I was a bit of a vandal as a
this
child.
was in a Missouri college parking lot. I'll have to see which college here in a second. Missouri, Drew's college, Missouri State. His Springfield.
Springfield, our favorite place.
Yeah. A 19.
I had a great time in Springfield. There were no problems.
Well, yeah.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
We had a great time. Anyway, a 19-year-old
Missouri State
sophomore had a lengthy Chat GPT, you guys know the AI app, conversation during which he confessed to the crime. So this guy...
So he was confessing to Chat GPT about confessing to crime?
Yes, he was asked about the possibility of getting caught to Chat GPT. Is there any way they could know it was me, according to a police probable cause statement?
Dude.
He was arrested, charged with felony property damage for a rampage early Sunday at Missouri State University parking lot. Investigators allege that he shattered car windows, ripped off side mirrors, dented hoods, broke windshield wipers during the 3 a.m. spree. When confronted with surveillance footage and other evidence, he said that he could see the resemblance between the suspect and himself. At that point, he reportedly consented to a search of his iPhone, and then when the investigators looked at the iPhone, they saw that at ChatGPT, he actually asked, could they find out? And they also found location data on his phone that they matched him at the same time. And
This guy was definitely guilty of it. But if they're asking for location data, your answer is, I'm going to go and get a lawyer. Search up my phone. Especially if you know you typed it into ChatGPT.
Here was the exact. I can't read all of this, but the incriminating ChatGPT conversation opened with this kid saying, "quote How effed am I, and will I go to jail?"
I mean, if you vandalize 17
the
cars,
AI program gave tips about the potential outcome of getting caught or being involved in this kind of behavior. The kid typed, "What if I smash the bleep out of multiple cars?" After beginning to spiral, cops say he began to become aggressive towards ChatGPT, saying, "I will kill all you bleepers." Upon returning to his Springfield apartment, he began to wind down a bit and declared, remember, this is all to ChatGPT. "I got away with it last year, and I don't think there's any way they could know my face. It felt really nice to F their bleep up."
So now he's admitted to a crime from last year, too.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
He'll be barred from any premise where the primary item for sale is alcoholic beverages. He'll be required to comply with random testing for drugs or alcohol.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
I got away with it last year.
ChatGPT. If you don't commit a crime, but if you're going to commit a crime, don't be typing into your phone and asking ChatGPT questions. They would have got this kid even without the ChatGPT stuff, but yeah.
This is the fully formed brain part of it. Is like, it's 17 years old, 21 years old. You feel invincible, especially because this kid got away with it before. I hit some mailboxes and I thought, oh, we'll never get caught doing this. So you're caught.
If you had ChatGPT,
I wouldn't have asked
you wouldn't have?
My phone's always listening to you.
I don't think so.
It's just the way that.
I mean, the biggest thing,
there was no location data on me. They were gonna have to catch me live in the act.
That's the thing. Is like you can. Whether or not, like nowadays with the phone data, they can find your. Well, it's not even listening. It's just that they can ping your phone. Like, I mean, it's just
that too.
They can place you at the same spot at the exact same time that a crime was committed. You're effed.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the trash of the day. Up next, let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Let's talk more about one player that I think we all agree needs more playing time, but will it happen tonight?
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Obviously, we got football tonight right here on The Fan and over at Underdog. It's one of the best places to get in on the action. You can select entries and win money on the Missouri side. So I can be sitting on my couch watching the game tonight, making those selections. Tonight, I'll be choosing higher than 43.5 yards for Travis Kelce because they got a really good run defense. They're good at taking the ball away, but tight end play has been better as of late. Playing an Underdog is easy. Like I said, you just choose whether your favorite player goes higher or lower than stats, rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Mix and match sports over at Underdog as well in case you wanted to get in some playoff baseball tonight as well. Plus, so many different ways to play streaks. Each streak starts by making 2 picks. If both picks are correct, the next pick for the streak becomes available. Get 11 correct, and the prize is yours over at Underdog. So download the app today. Sign up using promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing good terms _DFS_.html for details. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncbgambling.org.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
When your team's best players have all been traded and the latest pick is overrated, just raise a glass with a friend or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. May your team be great and your picks be true, and if it falls apart, you'll know what to do. Just raise a glass with a fan or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. Hey!
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, imported by William Grant.
Every big play starts with a first down, and every financial future starts with the right partner. Main Street Credit Union is not-for-profit and member-owned, which means we invest in you with guidance that's clear, tools that make sense, and people who actually listen. We're here to help you move the chains. Whatever your next move is, auto loan, savings goal, or paying off debt, let's make it one play at a time. Visit mainstreetcu.org to get started.
It's football season, and I can't wait for the games. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs. I just head to Hy-Vee the day after any game and score savings at the pump with my Hy-Vee Perks card. Win or lose, I earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents per gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. The more we score, the more I save only at Hy-Vee. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
This Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th, you can get a great deal on a new foot spa, transforming you into the queen of kicking it.
Wait, this has bubble jets. Okay.
Get up to 40% off with Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age. making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening, because health is a long game and it's yours to win. Now, here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi? Learn more at Depend.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, a contractor, or business owner, Metal by the Foot has the perfect solution for you. Located in KC and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by All Weather Decks, Kansas City's most respected deck builder. Check them out at allweatherdecks.net. We were bragging about it. We were talking in the break because we've been our Circa Millions contest. As you know, there's 6 of us at the station who bought in for $1,000 to make picks against the NFL spread. And so we all have been chipping in because we didn't want to all spend $1,200, you know, after the proxy.
Yep.
We didn't want to spend that individually, so we all chipped in and bought in together. We're on a heater.
We are
13-2 the last 3 weeks.
A 4-1
15-5 the last month.
4-1 yesterday, and so after that terrible 0-5 week 1, we're back. We're fully back. So it's been a good run. It makes the week one tick us off even more. Honestly, new quarter just started this week too. There's season-long prizes, but the new quarter started, and we're going to start quarter number 2, 4-1. So we had New England last night to cover. They obviously won outright. We had the Titans to cover. We got very fortunate there. We did not have the Giants did not cover. That was our one loss, and then we also had the Colts covering and Dallas covering. So yeah, it's a nice bounce back after the grief we got after week 1, understandably so.
We were 0-5 after week 1. We are now probably somewhere. We were like in the 350 range out of 5,800 or whatever it is. It's pretty good.
The top 5%.
And I think we'll be maybe like top 2 or 3% after this week because we went
We're moving
4-1.
We're moving up. Yeah, making some good progress.
Good start to the quarter. You know, maybe we can dream a little dream.
If you take that first week away, you guys might be the hottest team in the country
first
right now.
Not quite, because 17-3 or 16-4 won the quarter last time, and we're 15-5 over the last month. Over the last 3 weeks, there's probably been very few teams who've been better than us because we're 13-2.
Yeah, let's keep it up. Let's keep it up. Someone says never step away when you're on a heater. That's right.
Honestly, I have not made. We were so good for so long. I can't believe I haven't just been betting the identical bets.
I've been using some of them.
Opposite. I just bet all of them.
Because some of them, well, not all of them. Because so the way it works, we
don't agree.
We all submit 3, and then usually we have a couple that are easy shoo-ins that we multiple people have, and so it depends. Like some weeks, my picks have gone 2-1 or whatever, and your picks have gone 3-0 or 2-1. Doesn't mean we use all 3 of yours. Like this week, my individual picks went 3-0. We didn't use all 3 of them. But we still went 4-1
on the year.
Yeah, I don't know what mine is.
In those picks, I'm 9-6 on it, which is a more than respectable figure.
So
when it comes to sports,
we got shout out to Dusty, Rob, Speck, Bink, obviously yourself, and we're all in it together here. So it's been good.
Yeah, it's teamwork. Doesn't matter who's picked.
It's fun.
As long as we can agree as a group and it's
worked
working.
out. It's worked out on that. I think the system we have works for that. Like I think we're doing it in a fair way to make sure that everybody feels like their
contributing.
Their pick is being.
There's weeks where all 3 of mine were chosen in the mix, and there were weeks that none of them were chosen. Just as long as we are overall on aggregate doing it. It did. Someone says, so Cody hasn't made a pick the last 3 weeks. I actually offered.
He did.
I offered to step away. It was going so poorly at first. I said, I'll just step away. And maybe we need to reduce the numbers for a little while and do better, but I have been making my picks. I've made my picks every week.
By the way, real quick while we're talking about that betting show returns Wednesday night. So 6 o'clock this Wednesday, we bring it back now that baseball season is over. So we'll be talking a little bit on the contest picks, Survivor chaos that happened yesterday, especially with that Arizona Cardinals game. 8,000 people were eliminated from the big contest out at Circa in Survivor. It was a chaotic, full of carnage week. So we'll get into that, and we'll obviously look ahead to week 6 at that point in time. I know the Chiefs have to play tonight, but on Wednesday we'll be looking ahead to week number 6. All right, let's talk some Chiefs football here a little bit. And Brashard Smith started to see an increase last week, and it needs to continue for him. Increase in snaps. I'm not saying the numbers are going to blow you away. They're not. I mean, he's got 7 carries for 24 yards, right? Receiving 3 catches for 27. Nobody's acting like that the numbers are insane. I'm saying the potential, I believe, is there. He looks explosive when he touches the football, though. There's some excitement. There's some anticipation when he touches the football, not just because fans want to see him, but you can tell that there's some juice there that they have not had on the field. And when they had it last go around with Worthy at the same time, it was an element to the offense we haven't seen in a little bit. I hope that they're building more trust. He's building more trust, I should say, with the coaching staff, that he gets a few more snaps again tonight, and they continue to work him in. And by the time you really get going and you have Rice, that you also can say you have Brashard Smith as a very nice complementary piece. I think eventually, I know that Kareem Hunt is the best, third down back in terms of pass protection, everything that they have right now. I would like to see Brashard Smith build up that trust to where he turns more into a Jerick McKinnon type role, where he legitimately is their third down back. And because we know he played wide receiver in college. So having that element would be a huge asset on third downs.
And having watched the Chiefs, having watched every Chiefs game for the last, decade straight, right? Where in this job especially, you watch some multiple times and all this other stuff. This feels like the game where the backslide happens on Brashard Smith. And you go like, whoa. Why did snaps go down, Gold? It is one of the top 5 rushing yards allowed per game defenses in the NFL. They are a turnover defense, as in they are good at getting the ball away. That feels like a spot you don't want to put a rookie in. This feels like the protection game so that they can unleash Brashard Smith more as the season goes on. I know that doesn't make sense, but a lot of times as you build up with Andy, you get to what feels like a point where you're getting ready to really start taking over the snaps and really start taking over the control. But they do the one more game where it's like, no, it's all you, Pacheco. Give us one more shot. Give us the one more shot at glory and prove to us that you're the lead back. That's why tonight, for instance, like we're talking about betting stuff, I think I'm going to take Pacheco's over on the carries. Not the yardage. Again, they're a very good yardage team. but I'm going to take the over on the carries because I think that they'll do one more Pacheco game than the third we got kind of last week. And it wasn't quite that. It was more like 40, 30, 20, but it just felt like we saw more Brashard Smith than we had seen at any point this year.
Well, we definitely did, yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, absolutely did. But it felt that way too, right? And so I just feel like I want it to be the Brashard Smith game where they finally like, hey, you know what? This, the other way. This is one of the toughest run defenses in the league so far this year. Show us something. But I just don't think they're going to want to risk it for a team that is, if you simply just don't turn it over against the Jags, you're good. That's what's so weird about the Chiefs. They don't have to win the turnover battle to win. They have a winning record. But obviously everybody knows how you fare in those situations. Did you realize that the Bills before last night had gone, like I hadn't realized this. The Bills had gone, we'll talk about them in a minute, but like they'd gone like 24 games without losing the 23 games before last night, before losing the turnover battle. But the Chiefs tonight, that's the whole fuel for the Jags defense. That's why I don't think it's going to be a heavy Brashard Smith game. Do you think it is?
Heavy, no. I mean, I think it'll be very similar. I'm hoping it's more snaps. I don't think we're anywhere near the point, understandably so, where it's just Brashard Smith's going to be the guy. Nobody's suggesting that. I don't. So, like, the Brashard Smith game, no. I mean, that's to
like,
me.
You don't think he's overtaking Pacheco in the touches department?
Absolutely
tonight.
not. I just would like to see more of them and limit them across the board from a combination of Hunt and Pacheco. But no, I'm not suggesting, I don't think anybody is, that we're going to see a game tonight or anytime soon, maybe anytime this season, frankly, where Brashard Smith is at any point getting more touches than Pacheco and Hunt combined or something like that. I don't think so at all. But I would like to see an opportunity for him in the passing game a little bit more as well, and that's just a few extra snaps. I thought last week he, to me, earned himself some more opportunities. I thought he did well, and it's not because the stats are going to pop out there, but if you watch the game, I think you know what I'm talking about in terms of the ability once the ball was in his hands,
especially in the pass.
He broke.
Catching.
He had, it sounds silly. He broke a tackle, but seriously, they don't have many guys on this team that have shown they can break a tackle, and he was able to do it in a passing down. So yes, box score, watch it. You're going to say, who cares, man? He had 3.4 yards for 7 rushes and 24 yards on the season. That's not the point.
No, it's not. But that's also. He is at some point, Gold, going to have to flash in the run game too. If he's going to have to break off one of those 10, 12, 15-yarders. Remember, of the 15-plus yard runs the Chiefs have this season, one is Xavier Worthy, like 15 of them are Patrick Mahomes, and there's like one out of the backs, right? It doesn't...
Yeah, 3 of the games, it's been Mahomes leading him in rushing and Worthy. Out of the 4 of the games, 3 of them were Mahomes twice and Worthy once.
And one was... Kareem Hunt?
I think Pacheco did.
Was it Pacheco?
I think Pacheco did lead him against the Giants.
I couldn't
barely.
remember which back it was, but
40, like 35 and a half, whatever it was. Yeah.
But again, is this a good game to improve on that? The Jaguars let up, some of the least rushing yards per game in the NFL this year. And not because people are attacking them via the pass, which can certainly happen. They've just been a very good defense. The turnover stuff is crazy with them, though. They can't maintain that for an entire year, can they? They can't keep up those kind of turnover rates. I don't know, man. That's the weirdest part about it, is that sometimes it just feels like it's a team's year to take the ball away. No more, no less. Not coaching or different or the players are better. They just like get it in their head that they're a team who takes the ball away, and they just do it all season long. Outside of that, I can't see much of a difference other than Xavier Worthy will probably be the most used wide receiver, I would think, and Hollywood Brown be the second most used, and then Travis Kelce will still be somewhere around that Hollywood Brown level, and then we'll figure out where they are when Rashee Rice comes back in a couple weeks. Because I don't see a need for them to shift to the Brashard Smith part until, and they might not see this way either, Gold, fully until they find out what their offense is once Rashee Rice is back. Maybe Pacheco's job is he's running against 4-man fronts, essentially. They're just like running everyone back.
Text line says, you need to stop worrying, all right? The Chiefs are going to give them the smackdown. And then you and all the other scared critics can act like you knew was going to happen, even though right now you're still skeptics. And by the way, they'll be throwing the ball anyway. It doesn't matter. Rain, snow, and shine. Way to not listen to anything we've said in the last 6 minutes or so of the show. We literally are talking about Brashard Smith maybe getting more playing time. I don't know anything we said here that was
Are you scared?
We literally are saying, hey, it'd be nice to use Brashard Smith more. That's one of those. Sometimes I wonder. I think sometimes people text in. They have this thought that no matter what, they just want to text it in, and it has nothing to do with anything we're actually talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I guess earlier when we were talking about whether or not this was going to be the breakout game for the offense, maybe they're behind on the app.
Maybe. I hope for that. I hope. Because otherwise that text makes no sense.
It'd make more sense about 20, 30 minutes ago. So
Okay. You think that's what it was?
I don't know. I'm at least excusing it as a possibility. Meanwhile, what's been happening in the NFL is what seems to be forming in the AFC. I think we'll break it down to the AFC West more tomorrow or later in the week, obviously, because we'll have a game to react to tomorrow. The AFC is starting to look like a sea of, and I'm not going to call it mediocrity because I do think some of these teams are good, but it is homogenous. It is stuck in a grouping together. There doesn't seem to be yet a standout team all by themselves, all by their lonesome. Right now, the Buffalo Bills lead the way with second in the way of a plus 40 scoring differential. The Colts have the best differential in the AFC at plus 74, but they've played a lot of nobodies. And so, like, everyone's not buying into them fully yet. If the Chiefs win tonight, do you know how many teams will be 3-2? The Chargers, the Jags, the Broncos, the Patriots, and the Chiefs. 5 teams in the AFC will be 3-2. 1 will be 3-1 in the Steelers, who had a bye, and 2 will be 4-1 in the Colts and the Bills. It doesn't feel like anyone's pulled away from each other yet. And that's why the AFC is starting to feel a little like it's in a mess together in a lot of ways.
It does. You know, I look, the way the AFC is shaping up, I think it's almost confusing for a lot of us that over the last 4 or 5 years, I think we're all used to seeing the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, and some of those years, Cincinnati.
And just in first, second, and third place.
And it's like, all right, that's it. All right, fast forward. And I still think if we fast forward, the Chiefs and the Bills will be there at the end. I know Buffalo lost last night. I don't think suddenly they're not going to be one of the top
Ravens
teams,
are still favored to win their division somehow.
That's crazy. They are, but that is crazy. I think a lot of it is we see a team like the Colts, who are 4-1, all right? And their one loss really is only because A.D. Mitchell did what DeMarcado did yesterday for the Cardinals, which is, for whatever reason, these guys continue occasionally to drop the ball at the goal line right before it. Not even like fumble because it got punched out like Kyron Williams on Thursday Night Football. I'm talking just celebrating. It makes no sense. Anyway, A.D. Mitchell did that. That's the reason why the Rams beat the Colts. So the Colts could very realistically be the only remaining undefeated team in football right now, but they're not. Wins are wins, losses are losses. And yet we look at the Colts and we don't take them seriously yet. I say we because I actually do think I'm speaking for the majority of people on this. I don't think a lot of people take the Colts all that seriously in terms of this convo, legit AFC contender. I take them seriously that the Colts will be a playoff team and
they're going to be a tough team for the
and a tough
Chiefs
game
to beat
and all that. But in terms of, do I expect the Colts to be in an AFC title game? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And so we're normally seeing, you know, the usual suspects, and we're not. And so that's what's weird about the AFC, and it doesn't look like anybody is far and away better than anybody. And so it's all grouped. Now, record-wise, I still think the Bills, because of the schedule, will end up as the number 1 seed. Some of you disagree. That's fine. But that the AFC, in terms of this team can't be that team, none of that really is existing. I mean, truly, the Chiefs can beat the Bills can beat the Chiefs. The Chargers can beat the Chiefs. Duh, they already did. The Chiefs can beat the Chargers. The Broncos can beat the Chargers. The Broncos can beat the Bills. They just beat the Eagles, for crying out loud.
They definitely beat the Bills.
Everybody can beat everybody right now the way it's looking in the AFC.
Well, and I think the point differential, other than, again, the Colts would suggest that. The Colts got a couple of blowout wins, so their numbers out of there. Hell, Houston has, I apologize, the Houston Texans actually have the second best point differential in the AFC. Well, they won by yesterday. That's pretty much all of it. Other than that, they've been dead even. And they're 2-3 and not playing good football outside of that either. And so it does feel like, for the first time in a long time, I will say, the Chiefs, Bills, and Ravens can lose to any of the other teams in the regular season. Colts, Steelers, Jags tonight for the Chiefs. Sure. Maybe not Cincinnati, but like Texans, they can lose to those teams more than I ever felt like they were regularly going to lose to those teams in the AFC. So maybe we are going to look at 13-4. I will say, I don't want to overreact to the Bills losing what was a very close game, a divisional game against a team that Josh Allen is 500 against, the only team he struggles with against in the AFC East. And Drake May made some absolutely perfect throws. It took a lot of things. They had to take the ball away. He made some perfect throws. They had to have the ball last. It still took a lot to go right for the Patriots to come up on top of the Bills. And the Bills' schedule overall is the Miami Dolphins are awful. The Jets are even worse than them. And so they still do have a lot of games in their own conference and their own division against joke teams. The one thing I'll say that's going to help this conference is the thing we mentioned before. All of these teams can beat each other. And the Ravens could probably beat a lot of teams once Lamar Jackson's back. They can make a problem for some teams once he's back too.
Yeah, there's no true juggernaut. And if you're going to say that's the case and you're talking about the 1 seed and things like that, well, then schedule is a huge part of it. And, fast forward a month from now, I think we could view the Patriots way differently as well. Like there's a chance that a month from now that we all view the Patriots as actually one of the top 5 teams in the AFC. Like I legit think there's a chance that when we get to November, we could all be saying, you know what, the Patriots are not going to win the division. That's the Bills. But the Patriots are going to be a dangerous 5 seed or something like that. I think that's in play. Here's who the Patriots have coming up themselves. So big win last night. They have the Saints. Then they have the Titans. Then they have the Browns. Then they have the Falcons. Like
those are 3 of the worst 5 teams in the NFL.
I'm not saying they're going to win all 4, but they could.
Yeah.
They could easily go 3-1 during that stretch. So I think last night was a huge, huge boost for Drake May's confidence and for that entire Patriots team. And they're, to me, only going to get better as the season goes on. They're currently 3-2, as you said. And last night was not one result many people were predicting, that's for sure.
No, I thought the Bills would win. We talked about it going into – on Thursday we were talking about it. I didn't think it was a non-zero chance. I just didn't think the Bills would give the ball away the way that they did in that game. What stood out in that game is – those 2 teams played a real sloppy half of football, especially a sloppy first quarter of football. But, it was 3-3 with 1 second to go in the first half, and it took Vrabel, I thought, settling wrong. It didn't matter because he won the game, so he can hold that over my head. And I said it at the time, not before, so, I stand by it.
Fun.
But 6-3, it was like, what was the point of that? That half was just a waste of time. Just flush it away and let's –
It was like the Chiefs-Giants. It was like the Chiefs-Giants first half.
And then Drake May just made some – you know what my biggest takeaway from that? Not that Josh Allen shrunk in some big moment. I've watched Josh Allen play a lot of big-time games and play well in a lot of big-time games. I just thought Drake May played more like Josh Allen in the second half of that game than Josh Allen played like Josh Allen. He made the bigger throws. He made the bigger plays. He made the more impossible plays for his team. That happens every once in a while. I've seen Mahomes – got in a couple of games here and there by a lesser quarterback. It occurs, and that was Drake May's single biggest win of his career because it was in Buffalo, and he was doing everything to to help his team get the win. That's what stood out in that one. Is if Drake May keeps looking like that, he'll become one of the better quarterbacks of the AFC.
All of a
sudden,
sudden,
think he'll be in the conversation with the other 4, but
we can probably talk more about this. Not tomorrow; it'll be a day after a game, but maybe Wednesday or Thursday of the show. That quarterback draft class suddenly is looking at a hell of a lot. I mean, across the board. Last year was all about Jaden Daniels and what he was able to do.
Caleb Williams, Drake May.
Yeah, I mean,
Spencer Rattler has not been a complete joke.
I think he's been pretty solid, actually.
Yeah,
no, I'm just saying, that
solid,
that entire QB draft class looks really, really good right now.
It does. Looks like it was pretty deep. And they thought it was deep at the time it got drafted, as you remember. But still, it's been more impressive than I was anticipating, for sure.
All right, coming up next, we'll get to what's trending. Normally on a Monday, of course, we would have Andy Reid's press conference, but it's game day, so everything is pushed back and everything like that. But reminder, on Mondays, the only place you can hear from Andy Reid is right here on 96.5 The Fan. So we'll get to what's trending. We'll talk a little bit more about what's at stake for the Jags tonight, and then a little stock up, stock down.
This is Wyatt Thompson, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Schedule your home improvement project while the weather is still nice with Powell Exteriors KC. They offer easy financing, pay no interest until 2027, a 10-year workmanship warranty, and their extended summer sale. PowellExteriorsKC.com. The power of KC is Powell Exteriors KC.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300
$500.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CODE to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Century Roofing remains the best roofing company to call for insurance claims from storm damage, roof repair, and inspections throughout Kansas City. They were just voted as both the best roofing company in Johnson County for the 4th straight year and the best roofing company in all of Kansas City by readers of the Johnson County Post and the KC Star. So trust the pillars of strength and go with locally owned and female-owned Century Roofing at CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
The NFL season is rolling along, and you're starting to get a better feel on who's a contender and who's a pretender, and you can make all your predictions over at FanDuel. The FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets, from yards to touchdowns to who you think is going to win. With FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. And tonight, FanDuel is giving all customers 30% profit boost token. That's right. You can get in on the action for 30% profit boost on this Monday night. So make FanDuel your go-to app for every snap. So whether you want to bet who's going to win the game, who's going to score a touchdown, or who's going to score the first touchdown, you can do all that with our friends over at FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com. Use my promo code KFNZ to bet on the game. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get out with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
All right, gentlemen. This is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable. And one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 25 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shields Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000. Or in Mississippi.
I woke up this morning feeling like I was coming down with something. Cough, congestion, headache. My first thought was, nope, this can't happen. I have big plans this weekend. So I took Mucinex Kickstart. It provides all-in-one and done relief with a morning jolt of instant cooling sensation. Thanks to Mucinex Kickstart, I didn't even need to cancel my weekend plans. If you start feeling cough and congestion coming on, take Mucinex Kickstart for relief with a kick. At your favorite retailer. Use as directed.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-485-7220. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-485-7220 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-485-7220 to see if you qualify. That's 800-485-7220.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening. Because health is a long game, and it's yours to win. Now, here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend Shields, Guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi? Learn more at Depend.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Xavier Worthy. The Chiefs Radio Network pregame show starts 3 hours before kickoff, right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Number one on what's trending, the Chiefs and Jags tonight down in Jacksonville. Pre-game coverage starts at 4 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Briscoe will start our coverage. And, of course, during the game, Mitch Holthus, Danon Hughes, Josh Klingler, and then post-game coverage with Briscoe right after that right here on your home for the Chiefs. Chiefs, by the way, 3.5-point favorites. Total sitting at 45.5. We'll get our final game predictions in the 1 o'clock hour today.
Next up on What's Trending, charges against former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez have been upgraded amid an investigation into the stabbing incident. It includes a couple of felonies. They upgraded 5 charges overall. Obviously, he was hospitalized with multiple stab wounds following an incident with a 69-year-old delivery driver. Details still waiting on that, but at least the police department held a press conference today saying they were upgrading a couple of those and adding a new charge as well. So Mark Sanchez's legal issues continue.
Yeah, weird scenario that played out in Indianapolis over the weekend. Elsewhere, MLB postseason continues. Blue Jays are up 2-0 on the Yankees in one of the ALDS. You got Seattle and the Tigers knotted up at a game apiece. They're both off today. And then on the NL side, we got 2 games this evening. Dodgers, Phillies. The Dodgers up 1-0. Cubs, Brewers up 1-0 in their respective series. Postseason baseball. I'll be excited during the week. We get away from the weekend of football because so many of the games overlapped with college football in the quadruple header on Saturday, then yesterday. Tonight, same thing, the Chiefs game. We get to like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the midweek games. I'll enjoy it a little bit more when I actually will be locked in.
I think that, yes, I agree with the midweek game part of it, but also that's just the way it is when you got Chiefs on Monday Night Football. Next up on What's Trending, Kansas State lost over the weekend on the road to Baylor. Blocked field goal. Ended up losing that game for them. KU won a close one against UFC 27-20 against UCF. Missouri was off. Obviously, they've got Alabama this weekend.
WNBA Finals took place over the weekend, and now the Las Vegas Aces have a 2-0 lead over the Phoenix Mercury, and then things get very interesting in the offseason for the WNBA with all the stuff going on with their commissioner and also CBA-related. It can get very, very ugly over the next few months, but it looks like the Las Vegas Aces are about to win the WNBA.
Certainly looks like it, and good for them. Obviously, a hell of a season so far. We'll see if they actually close it out against the Phoenix Mercury. Lastly, on What's Trending, the KC Current didn't play this weekend. They're actually in action tonight against Angels City FC. Difficult timing for them, obviously, but if you're looking to split screen it, Chiefs tonight, but so are the KC Current, who will be in action.
And Sporting KC over the weekend dropped 3-0 to Minnesota, so that's where things stand for Sporting. They're now 7-6-20 on the season. Don't forget on Mondays to stop in our friends over at 30 Hop. They're our Monday lunch partner on Cody and Gold, and today, $5.99 classic burgers. Perfect opportunity to stop in before the Chiefs game tonight as well. 30 Hop, your new go-to, an American bar and kitchen with bold flavors, local taps, expansive patios, and an unbeatable happy hour. So check them out in Lee Summit or just down the street from our studios, actually, in Merriam's Grand Station. Proud lunch partner here on the show. Stop in for lunch, stay for a little happy hour. 30hop.com. Local beer, American Eats, big patio. We will get to stock down here in about 7 minutes or so. But you know who could raise their stock tonight? Obviously, it is the Jacksonville Jaguars, based off of where that franchise has been for a while. Now, they've had big playoff games. They've had an AFC title game in the last 10 years or so. But this is the biggest non-playoff game to this point this year, yes, but in general, that they have had. Like later on in the year, there might be a bigger non-playoff game, okay? They might play the Colts to decide a division in week 15 or whenever they play again. I get that. But I'm saying to this point, this is the biggest non-playoff game the Jags have had in a very, very long time. They're a team, as much as we say the Chiefs offensively, it's a confirmation game. How about this, the Jags in the Liam Cohen era, the beginning of the Liam Cohen era as their head coach? If they beat a team like Kansas City, who has been the class of the NFL for 7-8 years, if they can win tonight, they get to 4-1. People really are buying in on the Jags and Liam Cohen. It probably also means Trevor Lawrence plays well because they're 3-1 or whatever, and Trevor Lawrence hasn't played well yet. So I just think it's a big game in terms of fan buy-in for them, national narrative for them.
Their division's really tough because the Colts.
All of it changes. I don't think they're going to win tonight, but this is a huge game for Jacksonville. As much as it is for Kansas City, it's a statement opportunity for Jacksonville, which makes this one a little scary, I think, from the outside if you're looking at it, that this is a Jags team that's not going to be pushed over by any means tonight.
I'm not saying that it hadn't been treated that way for a long time, because it obviously had been. But I do genuinely view this game as being even more of one of those, like, we're going to make our statement to the league tonight games for a team that we've seen in a little while. The Ravens know what they've played a lot of big games against the Chiefs. They know they make their statements in the playoffs if they're going to make a statement against them. And even the Chargers, right, in a way, they face them twice a year. They get lots of opportunities to make a point. The Jags, if people are to take them seriously, and I'm sure that they want people to take them seriously, they need this one tonight. And you're right in the sense that it is the one thing that will make everyone fully believe in them and think that they are serious, because the story on the Chiefs is still incomplete in the sense that I think people have moved the goalpost a little bit. And look, it's not way unfair. The Ravens are awful. The Chiefs made a bad team look bad. Good. That's what they're supposed to do. But the Ravens at this point look lost. So right now, the Chiefs' wins are the Giants, a not very good football team, who did beat the Chargers in fairness, but a not very good football team. And the Ravens, a team that is lost at the moment. Their two losses are against two teams we would expect to be in the playoffs, the Chargers and the Eagles. So in a way, I feel like it's kind of a statement game for both. It's obviously a much bigger franchise game for the Jaguars. Yes. Chiefs playing Super Bowls with an S. This isn't like a franchise statement game for them. But it is a statement game in some ways in the, let's make a point of, we beat good teams too. The Jags are 3-1. They're fighting for their division early and often. All of those things are in play. But the Jags, it just feels like this might be their biggest regular season game in 5 years. I mean, were they playing for a division?
No, I think that's fair.
The year they beat the Chargers, they like playing for their division week 15 or 16, and I don't remember it.
Probably so. If that the last year they were in the playoffs, yeah, they probably had to win that last game to lock up a playoff spot.
And so maybe that one. So it's the second most important. They got a lot on it. Liam Cohen has to make a statement to the league that he can still coach offense too. Because the other part is like,
yeah, I mean,
I know. I'm just saying early.
I'm
just saying early.
Yeah,
their offense does not look right yet, and this is his chance in order to do it. I can't figure out, and I'm not going to make any determinations on what I think of Liam Cohen as a coach yet.
Duval.
I didn't think it was going to be great when he said that, admittedly. But, I mean, I guess it was better than Adam Gase's press conference.
The eye-wandering.
Yeah. I still think he was on something. I don't know, man.
He was following like that old Windows 98 screen where the Windows thing's bouncing off the corner of the screen. That's what Adam Gase's press conference looked like.
Yeah, something like that. And so when you look at where they are, I'm curious to see how they end up showing up tonight. Because if it's the Jags, and this is the other part, it's always hard to take the Jags serious because they're a joke. They've been a joke. How about that? And they've been not a complete joke under Trevor Lawrence, as in they're not a laughing stock. They're not the Raiders. They're not like one of these, the Browns. They're not one of these teams that we just like endlessly mock, but they have been irrelevant for a long time. And so part of me is like, I have a hard time taking you serious because of the franchise that you are.
The Chiefs have won, I think it's 8 in a row against Jacksonville. You know, I think that's something that doesn't, you can say doesn't impact the current group. Some of that goes way, way back, but still, as we're having the conversation, just franchise-wise, how big of a win it could be for Jacksonville. But as we discussed at 11 o'clock, I think it is still a confirmation game offensively for Kansas City tonight. Like, confirm what we saw against the Ravens from an offensive perspective, that is real. And especially after the Ravens defense getting destroyed again, and we all know they just flat out suck as a football team.
They're the worst defense in the sport.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the division, the AFC North is hilarious because two of the worst, right now, points per game defense in the NFL, the Ravens and the Bengals, are in the same division. And one of the worst offenses in the league, in the Cleveland Browns, is in that division. They have one of the best defenses. So which version of it is it, Gold, is certainly part of that conversation. But yeah, I mean, if their fans are going to just not believe. They're going to be like, I hope we get somebody else at quarterback. They're going to, if they lose to the Chiefs, they're going to be like, well, right back where we were. Who have the Jags beat, by the way? Who are their 3 wins?
San Francisco.
That was a good win. The Panthers,
Carolina.
Right? Okay, that's not a good win.
And then the Texans.
I don't know what to say about that Texans win. Divisional game, I'll always give you a little bit more credit for that. The Texans up into that game had looked pretty bad, but also the Texans are not, I don't think they're going to be a laughingstock this year. So, I don't know. 2 respectable wins, I would say, and one nothing win. Beating the Panthers doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but then look, people will point to the Chiefs and say they beat the Ravens and Giants, right? People will point to that, and well, the fact that the Chiefs' defense has been as good as they have, other than Week 1 against the Chargers, even in the loss to Philly, and obviously in the last 2 wins. That's where tonight, as I try to figure out like what's the path look like if Jacksonville were to pull off the upset, and again the Chiefs are 3.5 point favorites. I don't believe Jacksonville can win just by saying we're going to hope that we just turn Kansas City over a bunch, and the same formula we're just offensively going to be average and rely on ETN. I think the Chiefs will protect the football better than some of the opponents we just mentioned that the Jags have faced. But I think Trevor Lawrence has to play very well for the Jags to win tonight. And normally you're like, no kidding. It's just, but they have won without him playing well is the point. And I don't believe you can beat a team like Kansas City with the way the Chiefs defense is playing at this point without your quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, having a fairly special night. And we're going to find that out later on this evening. I get it. But I just don't believe the sustainability of +9 turnover margin and having all the, I look at the quarterbacks that they have faced. They being the Jags. I don't believe they're turning over the Chiefs multiple times tonight.
No, and I don't either. And I think that would be kind of, I guess, foolish of them to assume that based on just what we've seen out of them so far this year. I wouldn't put that anywhere near that category. But that's the issue as we talk about what to think about the Jags and outside of there. I know the text line's asking whether or not Xavier Worthy is going to be able to play. All reports are, and you can play, Ian Rappaport earlier today, certainly made it seem like he would.
The Kansas City Chiefs had a little sort of injury scare, I would say, yesterday. Xavier Worthy popped up on the injury report with an ankle along with his shoulder. My understanding is kind of just turned his ankle a little bit, woke up swollen. They put it on the report. He is fine. He is expected to go more of a precaution than anything else. Worthy has been excellent since he returned, playing with that torn labrum. And then Trayvon Walker.
We don't need to hear about Trayvon Walker. He's probably not going to play for the Jags tonight. But the first part for me and Rappaport this morning on Xavier Worthy. Cameron Wolf also had a report about that. Everybody kind of at this point nationally acknowledging that Worthy's going to play tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's precautionary. Now, the question is, if it's rainy, if the conditions are weird, Gold, do you want to limit him? And this is the hard part. Andy, I thought they would limit him in the first game. I thought they'd lay back a little bit against the Ravens and maybe give him 70% of his normal workload. They did the exact opposite of that and worked him into his full potential. But there is a part of me, man, that really wants to protect Xavier Worthy. And maybe it's for selfish reasons, because I want to see the entire offense in its complement all together, at least for a damn game sometime in the following, all of last year. And at this point, the first 4 games of this year. And if we get through tonight and Xavier Worthy's healthy, only 1 game left to get through. And then maybe we will, and Hollywood's healthy, we'll get through the entire 6-game stretch and finally get to see their action. I'm not worried about Worthy playing tonight. I think it's just precautionary. It was a weird thing, though, last night. When I said that to you.
Yeah, the Chiefs all of a sudden.
Whoa.
All of a sudden, the Chiefs put him on the injury report as they're required to, know any sort. Even if someone came down with a stomach bug or something, they're supposed to report that. And so they were going through that process. Clearly, it must have swelled up a little bit, enough to where they had to officially list him as questionable. But all accounts, he is going to play tonight. All right, guys, let's get to a little stock up, stock down. I'll start us off with someone whose stock never should have been all that down, but I just feel like he's an easy target for people. Stock up, Dak Prescott. Thank you very much. I know they're just 2-1 on the season. This is the argument against, hey, QB win stats. Like, for those that are anti that, this is your argument, because the Cowboys are 2-1, and a lot of that's because their defense just is horrendous. Second most points given up through the first 4 weeks. And that was yesterday, a team that destroyed the Jets. So impressive, even if the Jets stink. Dak Prescott is like first in total yards. He's 5th in scoring on offense. He himself is second in both completion percentage and passing yards, I believe, in the league. And actually, he might be first after yesterday. He has the second highest overall PFF grade of any quarterback in the league. Like, he is playing awesome football right now. And yet the Cowboys, because they're 2-1, of course people are going to assume that he's not playing all that well. He's doing without CeeDee Lamb the last couple weeks. I just think when you have a defense that's that bad, it also puts more pressure on you. Dak Prescott deserves more credit than he's getting. Stock up.
I think last week we were talking about it. And I know it was weird because they were 1-2-1, so they're still below 500. And I'm not saying they're playing great football, but yeah, Dak Prescott is playing some of the best quarterback in the NFL this year. The way they talk, I can't believe they're not talking about Dak Prescott the way they talked about Joe Burrow's squad last year. It's not Dak Prescott's fault that his team is 2-1. His ass is doing everything to drag that team up and has them at 500, and that is without his number one weapon in CeeDee Lamb. So I've been very impressed.
He might end up being, comeback player of the year. He's the favorite along with Christian McCaffrey right now, and he's got a strong case for it.
My stock up is Dan Campbell and Jared Goff together in the post-Ben Johnson era. Admittedly, they're not playing a murderer's row of defenses, and I understand that. But if you start looking at the Lions' points per game, the Chiefs' opponent from a week from now, they're number one in the league, scoring almost 35 points per game. They put up 37 on Cincinnati, 34 on Cleveland, one of the better defenses in the entire NFL, 38 on the Ravens, a team who's a joke, 52 on the Bears. The only team that seemed to hold them down was the Packers, who held them to just 13. Since then, it doesn't seem like there's some we're missing our offensive coordinator hangover. They got the number one offense in the sport. So that makes Dan Campbell look good. That makes Jared Goff look good. Like it wasn't just Ben Johnson saving their offense this entire time. So I'm going to say their stock is up.
They still have crazy amount of playmakers on offense. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown to go with David Montgomery, Laporta, and Jahmyr
Gibbs. That's probably the best weapons in this.
Is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Not to mention Jamison Williams.
It feels like there's a ton of different directions to go with stock up in the world of college football. So many good players. Ty Simpson, I think, his stock is continuing to rise. Bink is super high on him. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in all of college football. He's in the Heisman race. I think he's second, I believe, behind Dante Moore. Not getting any NFL draft buzz. He is eligible, but for the job that he's doing at Alabama, he is really proving that he's a legit quarterback, and waiting that time at Alabama was well worth it because of how he's starting out to play. And Kalen DeBoer is certainly happy he stuck around as well.
Mizzou, Alabama coming up this weekend. They'll get a firsthand look at Ty Simpson. All right, opposite, we go stock down. I'll stick with college football too, Drew, for stock down.
All right.
Arch Manning, I have not been impressed. It seems to me that now the comments from his grandfather before the season saying his son wasn't going to declare for the draft are going to end up being correct. There's no way his son's declaring for the draft. He's not ready, plain and simple. Look, Texas has other issues as well. This is not all on him. They just lost to Florida over the weekend, and so Texas was number 9 in the country. Did they fall all the way out of the top 25?
Yep, they're out.
They're all the way out of the top 25 now.
27th, technically.
They've got some other issues besides him, but he just hasn't been that impressive. He also had back-to-back drive-ending interceptions in that game against Florida. Just not impressed so far.
It's not easy to play quarterback in the SEC. Also, as your first year as a starter.
He was the Heisman favorite week 1.
That was his first game on the road against an
That's
SEC
not his
opponent
fault, by
in
the
his
way.
career.
It's not his fault that he was the Heisman favorite. I'm just saying he was the Heisman favorite, and that looks so laughable.
What was Missouri up to in the most recent top 25?
Missouri's at 14, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, so it's number 14 against number 8, Alabama.
Nice.
I really thought it was going to go south there for Alabama there in a hurry. Although I'll still say Alabama fans will still be out for blood if they lose to Missouri. That's one of those losses for Alabama fans who are like, Missouri? They look down on you for sure. My stock down is Jonathan Gannon for more than one reason. One, they continue to lose games in absolutely heartbreaking fashion. Second, he's now physically assaulting players on the sideline. Come on, man. Be cool. I understand he's wearing pads, and it probably looks worse than it is. But you don't just physically hit players on the sideline where people can see it. Mostly it's not his fault. His player dropped the ball on the 1-inch line, right? Not his fault. He didn't do anything wrong to be there, and he's rightful to be angry at that player for doing it. He's the one who let everything unravel after that. Keep it together, man. Keep the team together. They fell apart at the seams after that.
That is one of those, if you had the Cardinals in Survivor, or just the Cardinals to cover, that is one of the most disgusting,
it's pretty gross,
bad beats. You are not just for this year. It's nothing will top that this year. That is an all-timer. That's one of those that like 20 years from now you're joking with your buddies. about bad beats or survivor losses. And you're like, hey, remember in 2025 when they were up 21-6 and DeMarcado had a 50-yard touchdown, and for whatever reason he dropped the football before crossing the goal line, and they were still up 21-6. And then did you remember that the Cardinals forced an interception and picked the ball off of Cam Ward, and yet the Titans still scored a touchdown on that same play? Yeah, I remember that. This is an all-time bad beat. And yeah, Jonathan Gannon, I saw the video. I think it's one of those, you're probably right, where it looks way worse.
It's a pretty firm hit, though, man. You can't do that with players.
Cameras are around, too.
If it were the other way around, and Patrick Mahomes hit a coach in the chest like that, what would we be saying?
Yeah.
That's the only point about it. It's not like a double standard. You're not allowed to just beat them up because they're a player and you're the guy in charge.
I mean, so now, I agree with you. Beat it up is also a mischaracterization.
It's stating over. It looks worse than it probably is, genuinely, but also just don't do it. I know you're mad at the guy. You're right to be mad at the guy. I can't stock down any.
I don't get why play. Someone has to explain to me. Truly, someone has to explain to me. Someone that played the game, someone that coached, whatever. What is the reason you're having a huge play? Honestly, it would have sealed the game for the Cardinals, and you're a half inch from just being in the end zone. Then do whatever dance you want to do. And your celebration anyway isn't even good. Your celebration is just to casually drop the football. I don't get it. And you drop it right before you even cross the goal line. It makes zero sense. A.D. Mitchell did it a week ago. You had Amari DeMarcado or whatever just do it in the Cardinals game. I don't get it whatsoever.
It's really tempting to say James Franklin here for stock down. I'm going to avoid that, though, even though his stock is plummeting.
Or should Neuheisel, or what was it, in his kid?
Jerry Neuheisel should be on stock up is what he should have been. That man might be the next head coach over there.
I got to say, I thought it was a little silly that the Penn State fans were a little upset because he wasn't making a neutral call. He was excited for his kid. Can we make a pass? He apologized for saying, he said, I know I'm supposed to be neutral in this call. Rick Neuheisel was calling the game in which his kid got a call off his plays.
He was in the studio.
No, he was just in the studio.
And he had said, I know I'm supposed to be a neutral party when it comes to games like this. You don't have to be a neutral party. It's fine.
I think people should understand.
Yeah, that was actually pretty.
He apologized, and I felt he didn't need to. That's all.
But my stock down is on Steve Wilks, Jets defensive coordinator, and maybe it should also be on the head coach as well, of course, Aaron Glenn, because he's a defensive guy.
They've not shown up.
The Jets defense has really struggled in these games. I mean, not just against the Cowboys, but the least amount of points they've given up is 27 to the Miami Dolphins. It just seems like they're really struggling in regards to allowing points. If you get in the red zone, efficiency in terms of just getting stops and trying to hold teams is really something that they're struggling with. I would expect more from a defensive-minded head coach and a defensive coordinator that at times has been really good. Back when he was with San Francisco, I'm a little... Plus with the defense that they have, I mean, they got the talent. Maybe it's just a Jets thing. I don't know exactly.
The Jets are just a joke is what it is. The Jets...
Ask me about them tomorrow.
Tomorrow our NFL Insider returns. I'm sorry, the Jets are just an absolute joke. It doesn't matter who the head coach is. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. They flat out suck. The crazy Justin Fields stat is when teams score over 21 points against Justin Fields, he's 0-26. You better hope it's a 6-6 game if you want to win with Justin Fields.
He's not even playing bad. Justin Fields is not even playing that bad.
Yeah.
This
is
the crazy
someone said, someone has said one bonus stock down Cincinnati. Well, we already know that already.
Their stock has been
If your stock wasn't already down, then what have you been paying attention to?
Drew's still buying up more, I think, though. Based on a conversation we had earlier today. He's buying more stock.
We don't have time for it. We were going to pre-show conversation. The gist of it, and we'll let you have your own opinions, is I said Cincinnati has one of the worst defenses in the league.
They do.
Drew says they don't. They are a good defense who does good things.
No.
He didn't say good.
No.
He said they're not bad.
I said they're better than you think.
You said they're not a bad defense.
You said they're not a bad defense. Correct. You made it sound like they're a league average defense.
I said they're better than you think.
I said they're awful. And then I pointed out a lot of
tough
stats.
When your quarterback is 8 picks in 3 games. It's a little bit difficult.
That's not great.
Yeah, that's...
Jake Browning's stock is in the toilet.
They're a mess.
He might not make it to Halloween.
Correct.
Yeah, look, the good news...
further than down.
The good news for Drew is Cincinnati is such a well-run franchise. They will get this all corrected.
Hey, shout out to Barber. This version of the Bengals is the way that it would be if Sean Barber was running them.
Yeah, that Jake Browning would be better than Joe Burrow taking. He's like milk.
Sports Talk on 96.5 The Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, especially in Cincinnati, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Up next, let's talk about something that the Jags have struggled with this year, maybe an area the Chiefs can exploit. We'll also do a little random question of the day right here on Cody and Gold.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Guys, if you feel like something's been off, it's off. It's not just signs of aging. It's not just a weird week. All of this could be your energy slipping away, and all of those things can be signs of low testosterone. Over at Synergen X in the Low T Center, they will personalize a treatment plan for you. They use pharmaceutical-grade testosterone to increase that T level that is right for you. And you know the other clinics may compound their testosterone, so you don't even know or what you're getting or how effective it will be. At Synergen X and Low T Center, they have the real experts, the MVPs of testosterone that are ready to help you with most major insurance accepted and with most major providers. Also, you could choose between in-person care or online care. That way, you can figure out what fits best for your schedule. It all starts with a free, that's right, in October, a chance for a free T-test in October over at their on-site lab, 20 minutes, and then you could be on your way. You don't have to know what TRT and Synergen X and Low T Center can do for you, and you won't know what they can do for you unless you go get your free T-test. Don't let another thing keep putting it off. Be the best that you want to be and schedule that appointment today at TRTMVP.com. That's TRTMVP.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Discover the latest HVAC, plumbing, and trade solutions with companies like A.O. Smith and 20-plus other vendors at the Kansas City Wind Supply Group Vendor Showcase. Thursday, October 23rd, 3 to 6 at J. Rieger & Co. Distillery. Plus, enjoy complimentary food, drinks, tours, prizes, and networking.
FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. You can bet everything from the money line to over-unders to which team will win it all. You'll be able to build parlays, bet player props, or even ride the live line. Whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can pick which player will score the next touchdown or the touchdown after that. However you play your game, FanDuel's got your back. On December 1st, you'll be able to see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is GiveMeTheVin.com. We love to buy cars. People don't trust car buyers. People think the price is going to be wrong, and people think it's going to be a hassle. Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is what we do at GiveMeTheVin.com, and that's what makes us America's best car buyer. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com right now and get a quote on yours.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning, and you too can be so much more.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. and the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Ready to kick off the fun? Chumba Casino is your go-to game plan during halftime or overtime. From spinning slots to instant scratch-style cards, it's like running the perfect play, all from home. New players score a free welcome bonus and daily logins with a shot at some serious prizes every time you play. Get in the game and visit ChumbaCasino.com today. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
O'Reilly.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
When comfort's on the line, Anthony shows up. Same day, 24/7, even weekends and holidays. For a limited time, tankless water heaters starting at $88 per month. Schedule your complimentary proposal today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
We'll get to the random question of the day here in about 8 minutes or so. It is a game day in Kansas City. Obviously, Chiefs-Jags this evening. Pre-game coverage begins at 4 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. In the 1 o'clock hour, we'll get our final game predictions. We'll also talk a little bit more about what we learned from NFL Sunday. We've already hit on Buffalo and New England a little bit. We'll talk about the Broncos, who got a huge win against the Eagles, the Chargers going down to the Commanders. So some big results in the AFC West versus NFC East that took place in Week 5 of the NFL season. So that's coming up in just a bit. But there's been one thing that the Chiefs obviously have done more this year defensively, something that you would wonder what they try to do against Jacksonville, but I'm not so sure if Spags will do it. That's based off of how well Jacksonville handles the blitz.
Well, a lot of this is the Jags just don't get sacked, partially because I think, and people don't blitz him because he gets rid of the ball in 2.57 seconds. Aaron Rodgers is the only quarterback who gets rid of the ball faster. Patrick Mahomes gets rid of the ball quick, and even he's not getting rid of it as fast as Trevor Lawrence. So what I was trying to decide is that a bad thing for the Chiefs who already don't have a pass rush? So if he's getting rid of the ball quick and he's already not getting sacked, that would not bode well for a team who Gold, I don't think, gets to the quarterback all that well, especially with their 4 down linemen. And can you blitz a guy who's going to get rid of the ball that fast? Can you get home, right? A lot of times when they blitz, they get to these quarterbacks who fade back, take a normal amount of time, throw them off of their rhythm. And the more I think about it, the more I think this might be advantageous for the Chiefs. Because part of the reason that he hasn't been sacked very much, and that he is getting rid of the ball so quick is they have 0 deep passing game. It just so happens the Chiefs are the best efficiency team against the deep ball this year in addition to it. So just as long as they can guard the underneath stuff, this should be a fairly simple defensive alignment for the Chiefs, unless the Jags are thinking, finally time to open it up, which would be a weird time because, again, the Chiefs are good at defending that. So if the Jags try to go opposite of what they have been this year, that plays into a strength for the Chiefs. So like the sack numbers might not matter tonight is what I'm saying. That might be less important than it has been for them in the previous 4 games.
It's about more than, the first drive of the game, clearly. But that's what I bring that up because what's the approach for Jacksonville against this defense where Steve Spagnuolo will adjust better than anybody in football? And what different looks do they show the Jags? Are the Jags going to try to be a tendency breaker tonight? You just brought up that they don't really attack down the field or don't have success doing so.
They throw down the field less than any team in the NFL pretty much.
Tonight, are they going to try to? You know what I mean? Sometimes that stuff happens where you have all these trends for 3 or 4 weeks and a team will try to break their own tendencies, and that's their approach. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work, but watch that maybe be more of a factor. This is why overall, like the Chiefs defense versus the Jags offense, that's what I feel best about in the game. I really do. I mean, I think the Chiefs defense has shown us time and time again this season. They are once again an elite defensive unit. The question is, can the Chiefs offensively protect the football, and can they show some of what we saw against the Ravens offensively against a much better defense in Jacksonville? Yeah. That, to me, is the game. It's the Chiefs' offense versus the Jags' defense.
Not the defense versus the... But, I mean, if they can't get anything going, the Chiefs' offense is not going to show much to get a win.
For sure. I just think that the Chiefs' defense, I trust that even if the Jags get them on the first drive or whatever, that they will make the adjustment that's necessary to come up with the big stop when needed. Spags has enough of a track record. They got too many guys on that defense that have a track record of doing it. Now they've got some younger pieces in the secondary that are starting to play some better football. No Williams, Jaden Hicks. So to me, that's not my worry. It's, can the Chiefs offense still be as explosive against a much better defense, and the confirmation that, hey, no, the offense has figured some things out. And more importantly, can they just not turn the ball over? Something the Chiefs have not done, but we know it's been the bread and butter of the Jags, and why they sit at 3-1 or whatever is because Jacksonville has the best turnover margin in football.
Where are the Chiefs at takeaways, I guess, this year? Because Jacksonville's number 1. We know that. They're taking the ball away. They're taking the ball away 3.3 times per game. Last year, by the way, they were, and this is not a joke, dead last in the NFL in takeaways. Dead last. They were They're first. They were 32nd last year in takeaways.
The Chiefs.
So this is quite the turn.
Right in the middle, Drew. 16th in the league. 1 per game is the average break.
Pretty much what they were last year. Yeah, give or take. That's probably right.
1.0 so far, 1.1 last year.
Okay, so dead even, pretty much where they are.
The Jets are the only team in football without a single takeaway. They don't have a single one.
They don't have one?
No, they suck. They stink.
I know, but they don't have one.
Nope.
They haven't taken it away once?
Not one. Period.
I mean, here's the thing about the Jags have been playing these close games, and they are taking it away, not just some, in astronomical rate. There's no way the Chiefs are going to be that careless with the ball. Sure, if they are, they'll lose. Chiefs give the ball away 3 times tonight. I'm sure they won't win this game.
Right.
That's not like hard to predict or assume based on that. But they're almost a full turnover higher than the next highest team. They're like more than double the league average. They just can't. I think that some of this is the opponents that they played. I'll just be honest. I think some of this is the teams who give it away the most without even looking. Now, of course, this stat kind of tells itself, so it's not really fair. If I looked up the teams that give away the ball the most, well, the teams that Jags have taken it away from the most are obviously going to be near the top of the board because they gave the Jags the ball a bunch. So it's not really going to be telling because it's not a long enough sample size in order to negate it.
Cincinnati has the most. Cincinnati and the Raiders have the most giveaways in football this year. It looks like 11 for Cincy, 10 for the Raiders.
My God.
And then a team like Minnesota is right after that.
Minnesota's giving it away that much?
9 turnovers this year.
A little less discipline from his team than I would come to expect.
But they also, Minnesota, takeaway-wise, I think it ranks out pretty good.
You know what's funny about that is when you talk about, like, giveaways, like, you talk about giving the ball away. We spent a lot of time talking about how the Jaguars are the best team in the NFL taking the ball away. Do you know where the Chiefs rank amongst giveaways? Like, how often they give it away?
I do, only because I'm staring at it.
Second best in the NFL.
They have 1.
So the only team who's given the ball away less than the Chiefs is the Philadelphia Eagles. And if you ask me which of the things is more likely to continue, the Chiefs protecting the football or the Jacksonville Jaguars taking it away 3 more additional times, I think it's far more likely the Chiefs won't give it away.
Yeah, and if the Chiefs get through tonight's game without a giveaway. The Eagles have played one more game, in fairness, but the Eagles have given away one time. The Chiefs have given away one time. Now, they played a full football game yesterday, so if the Chiefs can make it through tonight, then they would have the same track record as Philadelphia in that, and they would be tied officially for the best in football. They don't turn the ball over.
If they don't give it away tonight,
yep,
they'll also win if they don't give it away tonight. Let's
Absolutely.
Just face
I really think it is.
Do you know what their record
man.
is when they're either even or ahead in the turnover differential? They win like 90% of their games with Patrick Mahomes, if that's the case. They've won 34 straight games in which they win the turnover margin with Patrick Mahomes.
Especially against a team that has had to rely on that in order to win.
Right,
like
and that's the thing. Exactly, Drew. Exactly. That's their formula. Is like, how can Jacksonville win without doing what you're saying? I don't know if they can. While we're mentioning crazy stats, the one that I still love so far, it goes back a couple of years. I mentioned this last week with Bob and Dusty when I was on with them. The Chiefs, it sounds so simple. Duh, have a lead. You're probably going to win.
Woo.
But the Chiefs, since 2018, are 65-7 when they lead after the first quarter. Okay? They win 90% of the time when they lead after the first quarter. The last 3 years, the Chiefs are 30-0. If the Chiefs have a lead at the end of the first quarter, they are 30-0. Nope. The last time the Chiefs had a first quarter lead and lost the game was
Cincinnati AFC Championship,
the AFC title game.
That's almost 3 full years
That's why
ago.
the Chiefs are 30-0 straight up. So if you're watching the game tonight and the Chiefs have a lead, I'm just telling you, don't stress. They got a lead. I don't care if it's 3 points. I don't care if it's 7. Just, you know what?
If they're ahead after the first quarter, take a breath.
That's the Chiefs to win.
Literally, it's over. If they're leading after the first quarter, it could be 3-0, could be 7-0.
Now, this soundbite can come back
over.
to bite me in the rear. I understand that. But I feel very confident in saying I have 30 game sample size.
That's what has made the Chiefs great is while they simultaneously do things like that. I just mentioned the stat of how many games in a row they've won when they win the turnover margin, what their record is. What actually makes them great is they're great at that, which is what other great teams are at. You win in the circumstances and when you're supposed to win. You have a lead in the first quarter and you never blow it. I'm always more or as equally impressed with their record when trailing by double digits, when losing after the first quarter, when losing the turnover battle. They have a winning record in all of those situations where the rest of the league probably has a combined winning percentage of like 250 or 300. They win more games than they lose in the situations where things go south. That's what's most impressive, Gold, is they could be down 10-0 after the first quarter. And I'd still be here to tell you they got a pretty good chance to win that football game versus if they've got the lead, it's done.
Yeah, if the offense is back, I'm with you. That's why tonight is such a comfort. In the past, that feeling was based on the offense being right again, and we'll see.
Random question.
The random question of the day brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. For you, Gold, for you, Drew, over on the text line, 913-586-7965. Love to interact with you over on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch as well. Facebook, you like and subscribe on Twitch or YouTube. Top of your feed. Catch all the extra content we send over there as well, including game predictions, all that other kind of stuff. But when we're talking about this, I was going to mention, the random question today was going to be on Drew's social media post, but because we covered that earlier today, that he was shirtless on Instagram on the station's social media.
The station's Instagram account.
I think it's important to note that it was the station's social
Not
media
his personal
account.
one. Yeah, the actual Fan965 social media account, just shirtless.
I had to go through how many hours of training to get access to the social media?
Yeah.
And Drew can just post nipples over there? We can just do whatever we want?
Yeah, the nipples were exposed.
It's just free to all over there?
Yeah.
In fairness,
Drew's soft launching his OnlyFans.
I kind of got the go-ahead from the boss to go ahead and because of the shirtless pictures. It's like, if you want to do a video while you're on a run, go ahead. If you want to, get creative with it.
Do you always run shirtless? Just curious.
If it's warm?
For the most part, yes.
Okay. Just curious.
Pretty much always. Like, I'm not... When I'm running in November, when it's like 40 degrees outside,
yes, that'd be
probably
even
not
weirder.
running in a shirt, or probably not
running without a shirt.
The weirdest part, real quick, I know you have your question. The weirdest part earlier in the show, we brought this, or Drew brought it up first, actually, the Instagram post, and then proceeded to tell us, just wait till next week, it's going to get even better.
Which I thought was a threat to take his pants off. It sounded like a threat.
Which is not true. That's not going to happen.
There's only so many other places it could go once you're already down to like 2 articles of clothing.
Somebody on the text line did get it correct. They took a guess, and they got it right.
For what now? Sorry.
Earlier?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I'll have to look at the text line earlier to get it. Let's get to my random question, though.
Okay.
Very simple.
I think it's more juicy than she thinks.
Oh, sorry.
About once a week, we're good for a Would You Rather on this show. This time, it's about aging, something we've talked about as it relates to death and the other stuff. Now, I want you to remember, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and preface this. In this hypothetical, you are expected to live to between 85 and 90 years old.
This is going to be like the bird one?
No, it's not like the bird one.
Don't bring up the duck in the corkscrew.
I'm not bringing up the duck.
Jeez.
Would you rather, from this point on, so Drew, your age, I'm my age, whatever.
Okay.
You're retired until you were 65 years old. You do not have to work. You have a comfortable living. Nobody's forcing you to work. You're good. You make money. You're good. You don't have to retire. And then you have to work the rest of your life from 65 until you die. Or they'll let you retire at 65 years old. Same phase. You're going to retire on the dot to the day, 65 years old, and then you're done. Would you rather be retired now during this block of your life or after 65?
Well,
seems like you would enjoy this part of your life more.
I think there's a parameter, a couple questions, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, I would answer. I think what happens a lot of times with people is they work their ass off for much of their life, and then they don't leave any time to go and do what they want to do. At that point, maybe they have health problems or whatever it may be. So I would answer this on the surface, just saying, no, rather now, if you had the quote unquote retirement money now and all that, the same thing now, and you could do that while you're healthy and younger and all that.
And free time,
then the answer would be now. Now, the only, to Drew's point, there's other questions like, I have kids still, maybe, or don't have kids still.
Whatever
like, what do I have?
Like, you can have kids now, spend more time with them.
If you're someone that has kids, like, how does that change it? So that's how I would answer it.
In my case, I would still get to just spend more time with my kids now while they're kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would say if your kids ever have kids, you're done. You can't help them. You're just like, if they're like, hey, can you watch my kids? I gotta work. I'm working every day now. I'm 65 years old. I can't be an active grandparent, but I can be a more active parent.
Now, what if someone works in like a physically labor-intensive job, though, and you're telling me that they're working the same job when they're 70?
It doesn't have to be the same job. I don't care what job you get.
Right.
You're financially comfortable either way. I'm not forcing you into a line of work where if you work construction now, you got to work construction 65 to 85. I guess hold the sign. So it says
they retire in 4 years, so they're done. So basically, in this hypothetical, they would start retirement now, and then when they're 65, they would have to work 4 more again.
I'm saying you have to, like in this case, I understand if you're 60, this question doesn't work as well. But if you're like middle age, or if you could go back and you were 25 years old, which way would you choose? You could have just been retired 25 to 60 and then work 60 to 85.
Okay, so but is this is this working like
regular job?
Okay, so it's not like I just get a part-time job when I'm 65 and I'm
full-time. You need the income,
40 hours a week. It's a comfortable living. You know, the normal amount of vacation, the normal amount of work. You don't get to go be a starter at a golf course. You got to work a full-time job.
I think the health
rest
part,
of the time.
I think the health part is massive.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would definitely pick now till 65.
You don't know what kind of health you're going to be in when you're 70 years old or whatever.
But that's going to make working suck.
Well, you know what? You already enjoyed your life, I guess, at that point.
That's a fair point, I guess.
There are, in fairness, there are ways that you can also have a relaxed full-time living at 65 and not feel like you're...
That's not the question here,
You're stressed up.
The question here is if you have to choose one or the other. Obviously, lots of people just work and then have a nice, relaxed 60. In this case, it's you're choosing which chunk of your life to work. I'm saying the job's the same, the work amount's the same.
And that's why I asked what the job is, because if you're labor-intensive, now you're able to do it. You're not able to do it when you're 70, maybe.
Hey, someone said from the 75, their dad's 86 and retired last year. Worked up until they're 85.
Wow.
Did he want to?
Or 86.
Because otherwise, some people want to. Some people want to. It keeps them active so they're not lazy and degrading on the couch.
My mother-in-law still works like a full-time job, and she could have retired by now. I don't think she knows what she'd do with her free time.
Yeah.
And they like that money to spend on their family or their like the additional money
that
they have around, But my father-in-law's been retired for years now. Hung it up from the post office and doesn't regret it.
He worked for the post office for a while. That's nice. There you go. Good for him.
It was like 20 years at the post office. He still got his mail jacket hanging up in the garage. It looks battered. It looks like it saw some wars. Every time I see him, I always think if I see him in really inclement weather, there's like 1.5 feet of snow on the ground. I'm like, I bet your ass is happy you weren't outside today.
I think it was.
That's a tough job when you got to be outside.
And not that you wouldn't be able to, but at 65, I feel like you wouldn't be able to get the full like if you're like, you know what, I'm gonna travel. You don't get the full compass, I don't think, of enjoying as much as you could traveling at 65 as you could at 35.
Plus, I'm thinking there's got to be a lot of work from home opportunities when I'm 65, you know? I got to think in 25 years, I'm just like retired for a little bit.
I mean, if that's the job,
I gotta
100%.
I got to think. I got to think that there's a good chance to find something by the end.
Yeah, someone says this, worked with a guy that was 81. He said the reason he did not retire is because all his friends that retired died soon after. I do think there is something to people. If you're, it depends. Are you active in your retirement though? Like, right? Are you going to the gym? Are you interact with people? Do you have a social life and all that? If you're just retired, you're just going to sit on your ass at home for 10 years. Well, yeah, you're gonna physically and mentally decline a lot quicker.
You got to find a hobby.
Yeah,
you got to be out there at the pickleball courts. You got to be doing stuff.
It doesn't even have to be that. I think just the mental interaction with people, the social interaction for your mental health too, like all of it. You know,
I find myself becoming more antisocial by the day, so I'm gonna have to fight that in my older age.
Someone says we'll get the show 20 years from now, Cody and old. Yeah, well, yeah. Ha ha.
I come back around. We're both.
Someone
60.
says easy, Drew.
They don't let anyone do this job till they're 65.
Someone says I'm 61 and they run with their shirt on.
Hey, I want to be honest. If I saw you running and you decided to run with your shirt off, more power to you, man. Like I think that's awesome. More power.
It would be
to
less cringe if we had a 60-year-old randomly on our Instagram account on Saturday running shirtless, randomly on our account than you shirtless. Less cringe if it was a 60-year-old.
I think that's debatable.
No, it'd be less cringe. I'm like, well, it's an old guy. Who cares? Let him do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, we do just start.
You can't.
I got to be honest.
It's true.
We all do the same thing socially. Like old guy says something crazy, does something weird.
Get away
like,
with it. You get away with it.
We do kind of like brush it to the side a lot faster.
I think that's a good.
We
point.
think it's kind of out of. We think it's out of hand, but we do let it go.
Good for this individual. Good for you. This from the 816 said they sold their business at 50, financially stable. He or she, I guess. Currently 57. They still DoorDash to make money on the side so they can enjoy their later years. Good for you.
Create your own
Good
schedule.
For you.
Oh, it's great. I bet.
Let's all start a business together. That's always my plan on this show. What business do you think? Text line. Here's a. I want you to answer this for tomorrow. So to answer now, tomorrow's random question is going to be: what business do you think the three of us could be successful at running?
Oh gosh.
Tomorrow, during the random question, I will take your answers. I don't need your answers now. I want them tomorrow.
True, your OnlyFans doesn't count. That's not a true business.
What is our part of that business in this case? Just marketing?
I'm not marketing that.
It has to be a business the three of us work on together. Together. As a group, as a team. Like we are as a show now.
Man.
You know?
Man. I don't know. Someone
you wouldn't put like go check out Drew on Instagram. You wouldn't do that for this right amount of money?
No. Every time we do this convo, and I don't know if it's Drew's mom texting it or whatever, but it says every time you guys start talking about Drew on Instagram, all I hear is two insecure guys that can't take their shirt off in public. Well, this is a dumb conversation, but I must say real quick.
That was not my mom,
That's not the argument.
Shout out to this person.
If I go to the pool, if I go to the beach, I take my shirt off. I don't go on my station's Instagram account with my shirt off. I don't post shirtless photos while I'm married, while I'm all over my Instagram. That's the difference. That's the argument with Drew. Not that you can't take your shirt off at the pool or the beach or running. It's that it is putting it on the station account is the odd part about it.
There's some suggestions on what not to have the business be.
Oh, okay.
And?
Not buying pallets off Amazon.
Wow, yeah, we would lose our ass quick. We would lose our ass very quick.
We'll see. I'll take your suggestions tomorrow.
That's the random question of the day. Food trucks. Yeah, I don't know.
It feels like be on our Instagram pages tonight. Shirtless?
Shirt on.
Shirt on.
Every week.
Not much of a selling point.
Each football game we rotate it around. Tonight's my night, so I'll be on Instagram and Twitter at halftime and after the game with some quick reaction. Shirt on. Yep.
Okay. Just curious.
I can promise you.
I can guarantee that. For those who are going to go check out the Twitter and Instagram pages, I wanted them to know what to expect.
Yeah, I can promise the shirt will be on.
Okay. That's the random question of the day. Brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care.
All right, up next, let's get to what else we learned from NFL Sunday, including in the AFC West and the bizarre story in Indianapolis involving Mark Sanchez.
This is Cody and Gold. Tune in for Nate Taylor every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Cody and Gold are brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
The FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets, from yards to touchdowns to who will win. With FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. And tonight, Jags, Chiefs, FanDuel's giving all customers a 30% profit boost token. That's right. You can get on the action with a 30% PBT this Monday night. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/Alex to bet on the game. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel's offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
It's football season, and I can't wait for the games. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs. I just head to Hy-Vee the day after any game and score savings at the pump with my Hy-Vee Perks card. Win or lose, I earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents per gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. The more we score, the more I save only at Hy-Vee. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
Is your garage door too loud and whining for help? Overhead Door Company of Kansas City will make it all better. They will perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Call Overhead Door Company of Kansas City at 816-221-0072 or schedule online at overheaddoorkc.com.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This sandwich, it's a complete game changer. Hello, this is Mike, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club is that juicy chicken with that toasty pretzel bun. That bun, it's crispy, cozy, just amazing. With the pretzel bun, the Dijon mustard, and the chicken, it makes that sweet, savory kind of combination. It's everything that you love about food rolled into one. It looks phenomenal. It tastes great. It's delicious.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Ready to kick off the fun? Chumba Casino is your go-to game plan. During halftime or overtime, from spinning slots to instant scratch-style cards, it's like running the perfect play, all from home. New players score a free welcome bonus and daily logins with a shot at some serious prizes every time you play. Get in the game and visit ChumbaCasino.com today. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Listen to the Chiefs and Jaguars on Monday night with pregame starting at 4. Kickoff at 7:15 with Mitch, Danon, and Kling. Right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM. HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. An Odyssey sports station.
1 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Having some fun during the break reading some of your texts. We appreciate your interaction. 913-586-7965. This is the Jay Southland Tow Service text line. Video stream up and running. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the shows here on 96.5 The Fan. We will talk a bit more about the Mark Sanchez incident over the weekend. Really bizarre stuff out of Indianapolis. Some new details today. But other than New England and Buffalo, which we focused in on earlier in the show from the Sunday night game, and Drake May, what it means for the number one seed conversation, all of that, let's get into a few things we haven't discussed yet. What else occurred yesterday? It was really about the AFC West and the NFC East, that couple head-to-head matchups there. You had the Broncos. Let's start there with a really, really impressive win over the Philadelphia Eagles. You go from playing on Monday Night Football, where they have a dominant win. Yes, they're at home, but then short week, you go then Sunday morning, essentially, 11 o'clock on the 1 o'clock on the East Coast kickoff against Philly in their house, and you get down early too, and you come all
2 touchdowns,
and you come all the way back to win against Philly to hand them their first loss of the season.
And Bo Nix had to play well in order to do it.
That was a big time win for Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. I don't know how you don't come away impressed with Denver. You know, they were trending in a direction where you're starting to say, oh, are they just going to kind of fall out of this thing? No, atop the AFC West, it's the Chargers, the Broncos, the Chiefs win tonight. They're all going to be right there at 3-2. We'll get to the Chargers loss in a second. But I give Denver a ton of credit. That was very, very impressive. They're the first team that had an Eagles team that's been vulnerable, but they actually took advantage of. You know, the Chiefs were right there with Philly. They didn't take advantage of the Eagles' lack of offense or mistakes. This go around, the Denver Broncos hung in there on the road.
It was kind of a weird slate because most of it was blowouts or games that were epic comebacks between teams we don't care about, right? As in like, wow, can't wait to watch that comeback between the Cardinals and Titans, or, you know, like it felt like, except for the game you just mentioned. The Broncos-Eagles, that's 2 teams that matter. 2 teams that had been in winning ways, 2 teams that made the playoffs last year. The Eagles had an incredibly long winning streak and an even longer. So like they had really not lost, 20 games or something outlandish?
Yeah, I think like week 10 or week 9 last year. Something.
Yeah, it had been a long time since the Eagles went down. They had firm control and a lead and seemed to have everything under control for a loss eventually to the Broncos and let Bo Nix get the better of them. And that was his best game of the season. And they ran the ball well again, and they stopped Jalen Hurts. And still the same thing. The Eagles just kind of look, they are a good football team. I think they're just going to be the Chiefs of last year, where they're going to win 14 games, and it's just not going to It's not going to excite
They
anybody.
still can't get A.J. Brown going either. Now, this game, Pat Surtain was on him, who's awesome, right?
Yeah,
He's the best-
Devonta Smith went off, so
yeah.
you take the trade-off, I guess, at least on that end, because it doesn't feel like it hurts you. That was the single most fun game of either slate, probably across the board. Chargers, and I know we'll talk more about the AFC West as a whole.
It's already happening.
I'm wrong plenty of times in the show, and I'll be wrong plenty of times more. 2 weeks ago, for all 32, I had told you, I think what's really important moving forward is watching what happens with the Chargers. They were 3-0, and I said, what's important now the next 3 weeks is watching what happens with the Chargers offensive line, because I think they have problems anyway, and now they're without another offensive lineman. And since then, Justin Herbert has no time to operate. And because of that, their offense looks stale and like it can't move the football, and they're getting beat up as a result of it because Justin Herbert can't make anything happen. And it's not even necessarily all his fault. They got a bad offensive line, and it's deflating their offense in a lot of ways.
And then Amari Hampton's now hurt. It looks like he's going to miss a couple weeks. Yeah. He won't be out for the year, but a couple weeks. So they're getting thin there. The Chargers are starting to charger. I don't know if SoFi already hung up the first 4 weeks of the season AFC West champ banners yet or whatever.
We were 3-0.
Because that was the conversation.
So funny they could be tied after tonight.
Look, the Chargers are going to be in this thing the entire year. I'm not saying that they're going to completely be out of it, but this idea that they were going to run away with the AFC West and all that, no, this thing's going to be very tight. Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, in all likelihood by later on this evening are all going to be knotted up there. Yes, the tiebreaker favors the Chargers right now. They have the luxury of 3 division wins, but you'll get them later on in the year. You have an opportunity to get them, I should say, later on in the year. So does Denver as well. It's been pretty impressive to see how quickly, though, this division is completely shifted back.
Yeah, and we might talk about the AFC West later in the week, but it could be 3-2, 3-2, 3-2 at the end of tonight. So either tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on what the Chiefs do, we will definitely talk about that. Is there, and the text line's pointing this out over on YouTube and on Twitch, is there a more fun team to watch in the NFL right now than the Buccaneers?
No, they just keep winning in clutch moments, man.
They're in like every huge game. They're playing real opponents. It's always coming down to the wire. Him and Sam Darnold were in a shootout yesterday. Baker Mayfield over the last 2 years is statistically the best quarterback in clutch moments than anyone in the NFL. It doesn't matter who gets hurt in the wide receiver unit. They just started Egbuka more. I don't know. Did you guys hear Gronk try to pronounce that?
Yes.
It's in the system, but it was pretty bad.
Baker Mayfield also did it without his number one wide receiver, Mike Evans. And you got to give credit to this rookie sensation wide receiver out of Ohio State, Emeka Egbuka, going for over 100 yards. Emeka Egbuka. I'm getting confused. Going lights out once again.
You can tell he was trying to avoid it. The wide receiver out of Ohio State, like he was trying
He said Mike Evans with some authority.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Evans. That's an easy one.
Like we've all mispronounced names, but that was pretty funny.
Going for over 100 yards. Emeka Egbuka. Emeka Egbuka.
Egbuka. I don't even know what he's trying to say.
Yeah, Gronk. There you go. No, look,
but there's no team more fun to watch right now.
And that game yesterday, Bucs Seahawks was an awesome football game. I mean, awesome game. Yes, Seattle lost at home. The Bucs were down multiple starters. That's what goes. You go back to the Ravens convo. The Niners won on Thursday, down a bunch of starters. Impressive win. The Bucs were down, I think, again, 5-6 starters. Impressive win on the road. And yet the Ravens, we act like nobody's ever been as hurt as the Baltimore Ravens. There's no possible way they can. No, the Ravens are also just not a good football team right now, coupled with the injuries.
No, and that's really the general issue is that I don't know. It's such a weird thing about injuries because they are an excuse in the sense that at some point, it does make a difference who you are and who you are not missing. But it's not like pretending like these other teams aren't missing guys. The Bucs thought that they would have 2 other wide receivers. And this is where I give them credit versus like what the Chiefs have been going through. The Bucs haven't skipped a beat, and they're missing. Now, I would argue Egbuka is a little bit different than when you were down to just Hollywood Brown. Okay?
Yeah.
If the Chiefs had him too, I imagine there would be a bit of a difference in the quality of guy who may or may not be missing, at least on that end. The NFL, it feels like a wash this year. Not just the AFC, the NFC too, man. It's not like, to this point, the Eagles had felt like the runaway team in the NFC. Now there's no undefeated teams, right? We're done with that. Everybody's already lost a football game this year.
Isn't that nuts?
And
week 5, week 5's not even over yet, and we already are done with that.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. That's the way it's laid out. Buffalo was the last remaining undefeated team, and they couldn't hold it down anymore. I mean, like it or not, that's just kind of the position that these teams had ended up in. And the Eagles had not played particularly good football up to that point. But like on the NFC side, I think the Lions are really good. I think the Bucs can really score. But there's some underlying numbers that do not like the Buccaneers and some of the trouble that they have consistently gotten.
Their defense is problematic.
Everyone's still questioning whether or not the 49ers are for real, and they've been doing it with Mac Jones. And so it's like they've got 4-4-1 teams, and there's like real questions with all of them. Like people might like the 2-1-1 Packers as much as they like any of the 4-1 teams above them. And so, like, there's just this weird mix of teams.
It's early. It's so early. Some of this stuff gets sorted out, but this is why the NFL is great. I mean, right now, it does kind of feel wide open. I still think when the dust settles, we end up with some of these teams we all expected. Like, I think the Chiefs and Bills and the Lions and the Eagles are all going to be there at the end. The question is, does one other team, spoil the party? If you're looking at latest Super Bowl odds, I mean, the Bills are the favorites, 5-1. Lions 7.5-1, Eagles 7.5-1, then the Chiefs. It is still pretty crazy to think that 3 teams have better odds than the Chiefs, but that can change in a hurry if they were to get going. Next week they get the Lions. If they win tonight and then they have the Lions on Sunday Night Football, suddenly we could be talking about the Chiefs having the best odds, just like that, to win the Super Bowl again. I mean, it can shift big time the next couple of weeks.
No, it can. It really can. Just been a wide open first 5 weeks, and that's without there would be 5 3-2 teams if the Chiefs win tonight. So just making an already messy AFC even messier. Somehow football and just regular NFL games were not the biggest story of the weekend. It was when we all saw the story Saturday early on in the day that Mark Sanchez had been stabbed and was in the hospital. And the pouring out of people being like, this is really scary and hope he's okay, which is normal stuff to say about a person who had been stabbed, and that was the only report that had happened. And then the rest of the reporting came out, including additional charges today, if you missed it. Mark Sanchez has additional felony charges today.
A felony, right?
One additional charges, a felony to go with the misdemeanor charges that had been filed before. Mark Sanchez, this is the reported story now, as it currently allegedly happened. There was a 69-year-old delivery driver who was trying to park his truck. Sanchez took offense to this in the back of the parking lot. An argument ensued that included Sanchez getting in his truck, now not allowing the delivery driver to leave. The driver, in an effort of self-defense, pepper sprayed Mark Sanchez. That led to further the incident that then led to the driver eventually stabbing Mark Sanchez in what is being currently called by the police a self-defense effort. He's pretty beat up himself, the person who Mark Sanchez obviously stabbed, the delivery driver.
The court documents or the affidavit, the incident report or whatever, alleges, Mark Sanchez.
And then he stunk of alcohol and was intoxicated.
Was drunk and slurring words, and he body slammed this older gentleman into the truck.
Mark Sanchez is not a small person. This guy's a 69-year-old delivery driver.
It's a mess. It's, I don't, now that there's a felony involved, so it takes it up an entire notch today, but the driver said he thought this guy being Mark Sanchez, this guy was trying to kill me. That's why he stabbed him a few times. Again, this gentleman is not charged with anything. He's the victim in this case. Mark Sanchez was seen doing wind sprints in the alley behind the bar.
It sounds like somebody's just been drunk.
Yeah.
Last time I was drunk, I didn't think, let's do some wind
I'm just
sprints.
reading the report. Obviously, more details might come out allegedly. But yeah, it sounds like there might have been some other stuff going on. I have no idea.
I just no matter which way this story goes, this 69-year-old, he's sitting in the hospital bed, he's recovering from these very serious injuries in a very scary situation. And they're having to explain to him that it's the guy responsible for the butt fumble who was trying to attack him in his truck. That's ludicrous. Or the idea that, you knew it was Mark Sanchez this entire time, and we're having to finish it. No, Mark Sanchez, I don't want to stab you. Jeez. Please, Mark Sanchez, no, stop it. I'm just trying to move my truck. Why are you doing this, Mark Sanchez? Why are you acting like this?
I love how you think this guy would just be saying his name over and over as he's fearful for his life. It sounds like
this is what you would be saying if this was you in the situation. Be like, Mark Sanchez, why?
I'm like,
he would not be saying his full name.
I would not be saying his full name. I'd be like Mark. I would say Mark once or twice, and that's it.
Mark.
There's plenty of people that would not recognize Mark Sanchez, in fairness, too.
You would, wouldn't you?
I would, but we also work in sports.
I know. I'm just asking
we're bad examples for this. Yeah. I'm talking about someone that has, that is like, yes, if Mark Sanchez walked in the door of this building before the incident, we would all recognize him in 2 seconds. That's not the normal. It's weird, though. I mean, this is the criminal side of things. I'm sure there's going to be a civil suit at some point as well. Because I mean, the details.
The photos are gruesome. They're
photos
pretty
are gruesome. The
horrifying.
details are bad. I mean, it also says that this truck driver, the grease truck driver, requires hearing aids. Like the whole thing, like does not bode very well for Mark Sanchez, even from a criminal one thing, on the civil side of things too.
Yeah, you're attacking someone 30 years. You're
and
senior.
Here's the details. It's the affidavit says.
Crazy.
That the truck driver did not have his hearing aids in because the truck is very loud when he is exchanging the frying oil for the hotel. So he had to lean in close for Sanchez to hear him. So Mark Sanchez drunkenly, allegedly, is yelling at him. This poor guy couldn't hear. He didn't have his hearing aids in. I mean, the optics are obviously bad, but also now the more details come out.
Mark Sanchez. We'll never see him on another
broadcast. He's done.
Maybe he'll get a podcast, but he's done on broadcast. He's definitely done on that.
So officially charged with battery, which has been upgraded to a felony, a level 5, they call it in Indiana, I guess. Battery resulting in injury, public intoxication, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle for his alleged role in this incident, which resulted in him being stabbed and going to the hospital. The New York Post, of course, the headline, unnecessary roughness.
Okay. Pretty solid, honestly. I feel honestly genuinely terrible for this guy. No matter what situation escalated to this. Yeah. He was clearly just a delivery truck driver, and this situation never had to occur.
Of course not.
It clearly never had to happen. What the hell is Mark Sanchez policing back alley grease deliveries anyway?
Yeah, he says he was complaining that a truck was parked at a loading dock, which was blocking a nearby alley, which, again, the truck driver observed Mark Sanchez doing wind sprints in the alley at midnight. I don't know.
It's all allegedly, but this feels like alcohol. It was not the only thing. That's what it feels like. I'm not saying that's what took place.
I have no idea.
Obviously, we don't know. It's all but it doesn't feel like a situation.
How late was this? Because the game was
well, this is Friday night, Saturday morning.
Oh, okay. So this wasn't Saturday night going
into... No. This is... They got into town Friday, going out for drinks and dinner or whatever, and Mark Sanchez was still out, and this incident happened after midnight.
Because the way the report came out, it felt like it almost was as if it was Saturday night going into Sunday morning was the...
Yeah.
I just wonder why because it was at midnight or it was post. I don't know. Why are you out there? I don't know.
Could face between 1 and 6 years in jail, according to the felony reports.
It says
he's got a very good lawyer.
This guy said the victim in this incident said he stabbed Mark Sanchez 2 or 3 times, at which point the former athlete stared at him with a look of shock before turning around and heading off up the alley. So Sanchez gets stabbed and then runs off. Police found a trail of blood in the alleyway, discovered Sanchez in the bar, in the alley next to this bar. He was rushed to the hospital.
Thankfully he's alive.
He was stabbed in the chest, critical condition. His condition obviously has been upgraded to stable, and he's going to be fine from that regard. But he says all he can remember, he being Mark Sanchez in the affidavit, he remembered grabbing for a window. He did not know who stabbed him or where the attack happened, so he just blacked out. He had no clue anything.
Yeah, he didn't know what was going on.
Jeez.
I mean, look, that's not a good excuse.
Definitely not an excuse.
Don't put yourself in that position.
He's married with a wife and kids. What a mess for everybody around.
Yeah, both the victim. Now that's what the police's statement, not mine, and Mark. Again, Mark
Drew
Sanchez
said this is a bar. Just as a bar, Drew used to do wind sprints shirtless in front of as
Drew,
well.
How common is it for people to do sprints behind the alley in this bar? Is that a regularly
in Indianapolis? This is your backyard.
This is my hometown.
How close is this to your childhood home?
Oh, this is a ways away, a long ways away.
Okay.
I didn't live anywhere near downtown Indianapolis. Probably about a half hour from downtown. But
were you in Indianapolis? What would be considered?
Yes, I was
like Overland Park.
Yes. He's a suburb of Indy.
Okay.
Well, okay.
But in Chicago, they claim I'm from Chicago and it's an hour and a half away. Every city seems to stretch its guidelines a little further.
I was in a suburb, but my address was Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay.
The way the metropolis expands out, but I had never been to this.
Drew's actually from Gary, Indiana. It turns out. So
I am not from Gary. No.
But you're familiar with this bar?
I am familiar with it. I've never been to this bar. Again, like I said earlier, it's on a popular street. It's on Washington Street, but it's further. It's away from the main hub of bars and restaurants, if you will.
But Washington Street is a common hub.
Yes.
You're saying it's on the opposite end of the most popular hub.
It's basically in between Victory Field, which is where the Indianapolis Indians play the AAA team for the Pirates, and Meridian Circle, which is the main hub of everything kind of during the day. It's maybe where he was at was probably a 5-minute walk from the circle, 5 to 10 minute walk.
He changes out the grease traps there at midnight? Well, he's going to be retired now. Whatever civil lawsuit he wins, he's not going to have to deliver grease anymore.
There will definitely be a civil
That's
suit
for sure.
coming. You know that's a few months from now, there'll be a
crazy
civil
thing.
What's the town everybody
makes
makes
fun
fun
did
of?
Mark Sanchez earn in his career? How much are we talking here for?
$100 million?
Ooh,
top pick.
That
also
much?
been a broadcaster for a couple of years at a
How
national
long was he in the
level.
league for? Like 10 years?
10 years, probably. He got paid, I'm sure, after they went to AFC title games.
Yeah.
I don't remember what he
What's your
made.
guess? What's your guess? I got
Between 75 and 100 million?
Drew?
I'll say 65 and a half.
74.2. Now that's before taxes and agent and all that, but still, 74
Make
million.
that much, yeah.
There'll be a nice little civil suit on the way, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to, the way it's alleged, as there should be.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was attacked for just trying to do his job.
Yeah.
I can't get over the idea that somebody had to explain to him who it was after all this who assaulted him. It's crazy. It's crazy.
A lot of
to
people
have
on the
to
text
explain
line.
it.
A lot of people on the text line are. It doesn't mean this will work. People on the text line are claiming his defense will be that he was roofied. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. But yeah, you might be right. That might be what.
Really good lawyer might be able to keep him out of jail if it's typically a 1 to 6 year
But
prison sentence. But
also, now someone in law enforcement can fill me in on this. He was taken to the hospital while police officers were there.
I imagine there's a drug
quickly?
screen, maybe.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
how quickly did they? Would they have been able to, because of that incident, do a drug screen? That
I
takes
guarantee you they
the
drew blood.
toxicology type of report or whatever. That would cancel out any of this alleged. Oh my God! No, we don't know. We don't know what happened, but I would be shocked if we learned that that's what occurred. That he was drugged. That would be pretty stunning.
What a wild. I
Someone
mean, that was not the story.
Sanchez should hire Chiefsaholics lawyer. Press conferences would be legendary.
I got to say, and
his lawyer is going to be, with all due respect to the Chiefsaholic attorney that's in the Kansas City area, his is going to be, how should we say, a little more respected.
Yeah, I would think so. I don't think he's going to stand on the steps and we're going to play Chariots of Fire underneath it. But when look, the whole case in this, and this is not, I'm not saying this is uncommon. It ended up looking even weirder nationally because it was probably 2 hours, 3 hours of just Mark Sanchez is stabbed. He's in critical condition in the hospital. He was robbed. And you're like, wow, terrifying, really scary. And so the outpouring of everybody he works with knows him. He's a tremendous guy, one of the nice people I've met. I hope he's okay. Heal well, Mark. All that stuff looked so weird once it came out that he was harassing a 69, allegedly harassing and assaulting a 69-year-old guy. You're like, those looked not. And I'm not saying it's weird to send out I hope they're okay.
Yeah.
Because you probably didn't assume that the other half of this story was going to look like that,
Yeah, someone says they're in law enforcement. Doesn't matter if that would have been the case anyway. You're responsible for your own actions. Someone else said if toxicology reports could get people out of crimes, there would be no crimes.
Yeah.
Someone else said, if I see a random man doing wind sprints in a back alley, I'm getting somebody else immediately, and I'm not going near that guy.
At midnight?
Yes.
No.
Now, in this case, he went towards that guy. This wasn't the guy that never even tried to have any interaction with Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez allegedly is who confronted him.
Yeah. But again, that is true. I would just say, generally speaking, if you're out at midnight in a downtown area near a bar and there's just someone in a back alley doing wind sprints, that's not somebody you want to
Or just don't walk down the back alley anyway.
That's just someone you don't want to be near.
Don't go there to the alley.
That's a bonkers.
It's crazy
story.
It's crazy. It'd be a wild story if it happened to anybody you knew. It's even weirder that it was Mark Sanchez. That part, it's a weird story anyway. That's a scary situation to be in
Before
anyway.
he was known for the butt fumbles, and now this is what people are going to think of.
Yeah. Or both, but either way, not good.
Yeah, I mean, the butt fumble will live forever, as will this, unfortunately.
Yeah. They'll be one in the same all together. Crazy. Absolutely crazy story. Again, if you want more information, there's more charges filed that would be the case. I'm sure he woke up with a very, very stark reality to his situation.
He didn't know what happened.
I just meant once you get filled in on what's going on.
Yeah. Monday's football coverage is presented by Busey Bank, where they're focused on your success. At Busey Bank, they've been building businesses and growing wealth since 1868. Learn more at buseybank.com. We'll get to a little what's trending and talk more about what the offense needs to do tonight to convince you that they're back.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Trent McDuffie. You're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Kansas City, it's time to turn up the heat. The Westport Sunfresh is back and better than ever. Now proudly part of the Cosentino Food Stores family. We're celebrating with a re-grand opening you won't want to miss. That means 3 full weeks of hot savings on the freshest produce, premium meats, and all your grocery favorites. Come experience the new and improved Westport Sunfresh, your neighborhood store, now with even more local love. Located in the heart of Westport, only at Cosentino's Westport Sunfresh.
FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. You can bet everything from the money line to over-unders to which team will win it all. You'll be able to build parlays, bet player props, or even ride the live line. Whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can pick which player will score the next touchdown or the touchdown after that. However you play your game, FanDuel's got your back. On December 1st, you'll be able to see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CODE to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Schedule your home improvement project while the weather is still nice with Powell Exteriors KC. They offer easy financing, pay no interest until 2027, a 10-year workmanship warranty, and their extended summer sale. PowellExteriorsKC.com. The power of KC is Powell Exteriors KC.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
With great deals coming this Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th, greatness is a deal away. So if you love baking, you can get a deal on a new mixer, transforming you into the Lord of the Loaves.
Hear ye, hear ye! Make way for the baron of brioche, the sultan of sourdough, the Lord of the Loaves, Prime Member Dave!
Yeah, hi?
Get up to 40% off with Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. RENNER forward and back.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Renner Garage Door has proudly served our community for decades. The best styles, technology, and family values. That's Renner. Get your free repair or replacement quote today. Forward and back.
RENNER. RENNER.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. What's trending?
Number one on What's Trending, Chiefs, Jags tonight right here on 96.5 The Fan. Pre-game coverage begins at 4. Josh Briscoe has our coverage there. Then, of course, he'll hand it off to the folks down in Jacksonville, Dana and Hughes. Mitch Holthus, Josh Klingler, then post-game coverage right here on 96.5 The Fan as well. Chiefs 3.5-point favorites. Reports earlier today from Ian Rappaport suggesting that Xavier Worthy will, in fact, play tonight, despite him popping up on the injury report with a questionable designation due to an ankle injury. It sounds like the ankle swelled up when he got off the plane, basically.
Yep. And obviously the shoulder stuff is always a question mark for him, but new thing with the ankle, we'll see. Obviously, most people are reporting that he should be fine to play in the game tonight. Next up on What's Trending, MLB postseason, ALDS, NLDS, Blue Jays up 2-0 on the Yankees after they hammered them yesterday. Vlad Guerrero hit a grand slam. The Rook obviously went scoreless against the Yankees. Seattle and the Tigers are knotted up at 1 game apiece. That game was awesome yesterday. A couple of homers from not the guys you would expect. Well, just one guy, but not the players you would expect for Seattle. Dodgers and Phillies, Cubs, Brewers tonight. Both those series at 1-0.
Other sports news here on the local front, something to keep an eye on. The KC Current in action tonight against Angel City FC. Also over the weekend, we saw Kansas State on the football side of things lose on the road at Baylor. KU got it done at UCF. The big matchup this week for two of the locals, you've got Missouri hosting number 8 Alabama. You've got Kansas going on the road to number 9 Texas Tech.
Next up on What's Trending in the NHL side, star center Connor McDavid will remain with the Oilers, signing a 2-year extension worth an annual of $12.5 million per year. Obviously, McDavid said he made the decision Monday morning. NHL sources, according to that. He was set to become an unrestricted free agent after this year, his 11th with the Oilers. After signing an 8-year, $100 million deal, they managed to lock up McDavid for two more years at $12.5 million per year. It is kind of crazy to me in the NHL. This is just the object sport. It's only $12.5 million per year.
NHL money.
He's a superstar.
Yeah, the NHL money is just not the same.
But it is a huge deal that he's remaining with the Oilers at 28 years old. He is largely considered to be one of, if not the best hockey player on the planet.
That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Don't forget, on Mondays, visit our lunch partner, our friends over at 30 Hop, a great spot to check out any day of the week. But on Mondays, how about $5.99 classic burgers? Go to the Lee Summit location. Check out their new location just down the street from us in Merriam at Merriam Grand Station. Of course, you can stop in for lunch. Stay for happy hour, 30hop.com. Local beer, American Eats, big patio. We almost sent Drew downstairs, actually. We still could, although I don't think we want to have him interfering with an investigation.
Let's not do that.
Why not? I want to know what's going on.
Squibb Road is the side street that goes right by our station. If any of you have ever picked up anything from the station before or whatever, you know where we're at. Odyssey building off
right
the
off of Shawnee Mission Parkway.
Yep. And Metcalf. And there's a road, it's Squibb Road, that winds around the building. And Rob came in during the break. He's like, I was told there's police officers near the building. Go, where do you guys see it? And then we look around and we see that there's 3 Merriam police SUVs on Squibb Road. And there is a gentleman that looks like handcuffed he's got a backpack and a skateboard. I don't know what's going on. We wanted to send Drew down there to find some more information.
Admittedly, for those of you, because I know some of you work in public safety, you are police officers, you need 3 cops for one guy on a skateboard? What's the officer?
We don't know the
It's a single person. I'm just asking what the ratio is. I'm asking what the standard ratio of one person on a skateboard to police officer. That's all. And I don't know whether or not
we don't know the
in the Mission Police Department, because in some police departments you can travel solo, some are all in pairs. So I don't know if that's 6 police officers or 3.
But you also don't know what the individual that they are detaining at this time is alleged to have done or anything.
I don't.
So,
I just know he's handcuffed outside the police car.
Oh, he's right down there. Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely handcuffed.
Oh, there's
outside the police
no question
car
about that. Someone's having a bad Monday.
Yeah. I mean, a Monday at 1:30. That's a tough time.
He was not with the vehicle though. So like skateboard and backpack.
So what's your prediction here? You got any guesses for what's going on?
I feel terrible for predicting. I don't know if I should predict. That's terrible.
Well, Drew, is he still there? Can you tell?
I think there was a.
You want to know my guess?
Rob had come in and updated me a little bit.
My terrible assumption is we're near Target, right? Are we? My assumption is
shoplifting.
Some sort of report of something happened over there, and then he came over here, and then that's where they tracked him down.
Based on what the update that I just got from
you got an update
around the
from sources.
Yes, yeah. It seems as if it was along the lines of what Gold was talking about.
Really? Why? Were they searching his bag?
Yep.
Did he give permission? Oh, I guess it could be probable cause. I don't know how this all works.
My guess is, something happened at the very large national chain. And
I think he's innocent. I'm just going to say it. Innocent. Man's innocent. Don't know what happened.
Says
accused.
maybe they were arresting a Drew stalker after that shirtless video on Instagram. That's true. That could be it.
We need to
People
stop
know
with
where he
this.
works, you know?
Someone says, guys, being on the other side of it when the second car pulls up is never good news.
It's not just a traffic stop.
Someone else says handcuffs. Maybe they're filming Drew's next OnlyFans
All right,
video.
you guys are shaming me out of. You guys are shaming me out of posting fun content.
Someone else. This is what happens when your company allows thirst traps.
Jeez.
Someone says trying to steal Drew's blue chews. Who knows?
Oh boy. Because I'll say one time
that'd be an uncomfortable search, huh?
This is why it could be anything. One time coming back from Colorado, I told you, the gentleman suspected me of drug trafficking, which I was not doing. But he then asked if he could search my car, and I didn't know any better at the time. Now I know I would just say no. But I just I didn't have anything. So I'm like, yeah, sure, man, go nuts.
Wait, what?
And
wait, this is in Colorado?
How many years ago?
I was in Kansas coming back from Colorado.
They thought Cody was bringing back a lot of weed.
They thought I was bringing back weed from Colorado across state line. They pulled me over for going 2 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Well, don't speed,
Said they were letting me off with a warning from the speeding ticket, and then said, can we search your, the officer asked if he could search my vehicle. At the time, I was like, I don't know. I didn't think about it because I was like, well, I don't have anything, so I don't really care. And I said, yeah, man, sure. But I didn't realize he was going to handcuff me. So I was handcuffed so he could search my car because he can't risk me doing anything unsafe. So on the side of the road, as far as anybody driving down I-70 that day, Drew, they just watched some guy handcuffed next to the cop car while the other guy is searching. I look pretty damn guilty, don't I?
Well, yeah.
I looked pretty guilty.
Yeah.
And I was not guilty of anything.
I'm
saying, I think my guy out here is innocent.
I told you guys about me having to go and sit in the car with his vehicle.
For what?
So I got pulled over for there was a semi, and I was in the middle of Oklahoma driving back to Colorado. That's why I asked you, Cody.
Yeah.
From Texas.
Sorry, go ahead.
Wife and I were coming back from a trip, and there was it was really windy in Oklahoma, of course. Semi was going back and forth and coming into my lane. Guy got on the rumble strips a little bit. Whatever. Guy pulled me over. He goes, you were on the rumble strips, right? I was like, yeah. I was trying to avoid the semi that was swerving a little bit. He goes, can you come back and sit in my vehicle? I was like,
why?
And he was like, I need to ask you a few questions. I was like,
what do I sit in your car for that?
Okay.
Can I stay in my car?
So I go back there, and they asked me if my wife, girlfriend at the time, was causing any problems or was bothering me. And I was like, man, you need to relax, man. Everything's fine, okay?
Profiling.
I was like, everything's fine.
I did have a cop separate us once when my friend got
ridiculous.
pulled over because he didn't believe his story that he was getting off to get gas, which wasn't true. He definitely realized he was speeding, realized the cop probably figured out he was speeding, and didn't have him clocked because he was just going the other way. So he got off the road to try to avoid it, and he made us sit in separate cars to try to get the story straight. I said, hey, man, I was asleep. I don't know. He said he was getting gas. We were probably getting gas. He's like, there's no gas station on this stuff. I'm like, everyone's got to check for gas? I don't know. He said he was getting gas. He's probably getting gas. And then he just gave him a seatbelt ticket, and we were on our way. Didn't get a speeding ticket.
There you
go. More to that. It's like, well, I'm going to rat the guy out.
All you need is some binoculars.
Somebody from our building, just clearly went over to talk to the police officer. I looked like Dan Weinbaum, honestly.
For real?
Yes.
I mean, I know we got news to report over on the KMBZ side, but he's trying to get the real story?
At least one of the police vehicles have left the scene. Drew, is there still another one there?
Yeah, I see one.
Okay.
Just one or multiple?
Someone says Cody's got the lawyer glasses on. Go give him some pro bono representation down there.
Look, the only thing I've learned, and we've got some lawyers who are on the chats. The only thing I'll say is whether you are innocent or guilty, don't answer any questions, just get a lawyer. I don't care what it is. Don't answer questions, just get a lawyer. That's my legal, and obviously I can't give legal advice for a lot of reasons, so don't take my legal advice seriously. My personal recommendation as a person with zero would be get a lawyer. Shut up and get a lawyer. Including this time, I should shut up.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Someone says Volkswagens, Cody, you know what they say.
Are we known drug traffickers?
That's what the text line said.
Is this somehow going to get turned into a Professor Tap segment next week?
To get a lawyer? Maybe. And here's why. I worked on, did you know this about me? I once worked on and been credited for working on an Innocence Project case in which somebody had their sentence commuted.
There you go. Good for you.
So, no big deal. Fun fact about me, I once worked on an Innocence Project case, recording interviews.
See?
Guess
who just walked in? See,
Hey,
it
Drew.
was him.
Drew, can you go ask Dan?
Yep.
Find out what happened with this crime?
It definitely was Dan.
Okay.
Dan definitely went out there to ask because...
Let's talk about the Chiefs offense while Drew figures this out.
All right.
We'll have a few minutes. In 5 minutes,
Someone
Drew will give us
says
an update.
if we can get one of the police officers on the air. I don't think so.
I don't think they're legally allowed.
I don't think that's going to happen. Anyway.
The Chiefs offense tonight, you and I are looking at the same. It's a litmus test for whether or not they're real. I'll be honest, and I'm not trying to move the goalpost. Can we admit that the Ravens defense is awful? And they have made a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of teams look good. So while it is still a good sign that a bad team got beat up, fine. It's not a negative. It's not a net negative that the Chiefs were great against the Ravens. I want to see it against a good defense. This is, by points per game, 4 weeks into the season, the best defense they faced. The Chargers are currently 9th in points per game. The Jags are 4th. So this would, by points per game standard, be the best defense they have faced so far this year. So it is, in my mind, a real test of where you are offensively. The Lions have been kind of mediocre on defense. They're not a great test. The Bills have been kind of mediocre on defense. They won't be a good test a few weeks from now. And then they'll get Rashee Rice back and we'll judge the offense in an entirely different system. But as they currently sit, and if things are starting to be solved, tonight's game is huge for that.
It's definitely a confirmation, if in fact the offense looks good again, that it wasn't anything fluky, that this is an offense that's not looking back anymore. It's only going to move forward as the addition of Rice happens in another week or two, as they start to get, hopefully, Brashard Smith more involved. This is no doubt a Jags defense that is also opportunistic in taking away the football, as we've discussed throughout the last week, frankly, going back to last week on the show. And so if Kansas City continues their trend of protecting the football, then you really like Kansas City's chances tonight of winning this football game. Obviously, in Jacksonville, they're probably saying, hey, if we can keep turning teams over like this, we're going to have a chance to win every single week. So that is a huge part of it. We know that there's a chance it's going to be sloppy out there. I haven't seen the latest weather forecast for Jacksonville.
They're saying right now it'll be okay. Maybe not raining.
A gap during the game, perhaps, but it's been raining prior to that. So hopefully the field conditions are good and everything like that.
Nate Taylor said that he should be fine tonight. Xavier Worthy, he just reported that a minute ago, just to confirm everyone else's.
Worthy being a go is obviously massive for this game, and if he is not limited at all, and there's no reason to believe he will be, then I think the Jags will have their work cut out for them. I think we can give our official predictions now. I guess we can lean right into it a little bit of how we think the game is going to play out. I think because of the Chiefs' defense, and as much as we've talked about Jacksonville, the Chiefs' defense has shown me enough already this year. I think they are an elite defensive unit. Week 1, I don't know what the heck was going on there. The whole team was a mess. Since then, they've been one of the best defensive units in football. To me, Steve Spagnuolo has been able to obviously come up with a game plan each week that truly, I mean, what's crazy about it, you always have a different game plan, but truly different. And some coaches will still have a general idea of what you're going to try to do.
They've attacked in different ways.
He's been able to attack in different ways. I expect that to be the case. Even if the first drive, Jacksonville tries to break some of their tendencies, I think the Chiefs will be able to adjust to those and force Trevor Lawrence to beat them. ETN has been awesome, all right? If the Chiefs are able to lock in on ETN the same way they've locked in on Derrick Henry over the years as well, and ETN's, of course, not even that quality of back compared to Derrick Henry. If they can do that and make Trevor Lawrence beat you and make Brian Thomas beat you, who's off to a slow start, that happens, I like my chances if I'm Kansas City defensively. I think Kansas City wins this game 28-20 tonight. So, yes, they would be covering. They would hold the Jags to 20 points, 28 points for Kansas City.
Always fun when we don't know each other's scores and we find out they're very close. I was at 27-20.
Okay.
You'll hear very close on there. I don't see the game going dramatically different. Honestly, I thought about going way less than 20. I thought about saying like 24-14 or 24-10. Okay. What have the Jags done offensively other than running Etienne that has been well? Now, I'll still say the one stat defensively that the Chiefs have struggled to, really, pass rush with their front four and base defense against a running game, there have been some exposure there. So you would think the Jags could, in base, get some things going with either Tootin or Etienne that the run game could work a little bit. But I thought that the last couple of weeks, and they're getting so far behind so early, they're out of their game. The only way I think the Jags' run game stays relevant the entire time is if they keep this game low scoring. Otherwise, they're going to have to turn it to the air with Trevor Etienne. And I honestly think this is a very good matchup for the Chiefs. The Jags can't get the ball down the field. The Chiefs are great at stopping and getting the ball down the field. It's a bad matchup. They got Brenton Strange. They don't have a tight end that can completely take advantage. It's not Tyler Warren. They don't have someone who can take advantage of their issues guarding tight ends in the same way the other guys can. And even if Brian Thomas were to step in a big way, they have been very good against number one wide receivers. I think it's a defensive matchup that matches up well. I almost said 27-14. I just feel like games go weird at the end and teams get trash touchdowns.
Yeah.
I think it is like a Chiefs lead a huge majority of the way. Maybe the Jags put something on paper down there late that keeps the game kind of interesting because that's how most NFL football games are. But I think it's a good matchup defensively for them. I'm more interested, as you said, in the matchup of what do the Chiefs do offensively against what I think is a very good Jags defense and an opportunistic one who's very good at turning the ball over. What's your prediction, Drew?
27-23 Chiefs
we're all
win.
in the same range.
I thought about doing the 27-17 thing. It sounds similar to you, where it just feels like the Chiefs it might be close in the first half, and then some big play will happen, or the Chiefs double dip to end the half, or whatever the case is, and they end up pulling away. But 27-23 Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will win.
I still think it's a weirdly high number of like games in which the Chiefs feel like they should easily run away with it, where they get that like garbage time like thing towards the end.
And it looks closer than what it is.
What's the spread tonight?
3.5.
Doesn't feel like enough. I still feel like that number's off. I'm not going to bet it. I feel like I'm still don't understand where the Chiefs are from a betting market.
The hook might get you. Yeah. That'd be the concern there. But as far as individual players, let's get into that. You mentioned betting, so let's just individual performances tonight. I would like to see more of Rashard Smith, but I'm not going to really bet on anything related to him because
I like Pacheco's carries tonight.
I don't trust the fact that I don't think Smith is just going to have a massive game. I think he's capable of it. I would like to see some more work for them. I don't know if we'll see it. If Xavier Worthy's playing, and multiple reports now are confirming he is, if he's playing tonight, they're going to use him. There's no decoy crap. They don't do that with him. So I like him to go over his rushing yards. My favorite bet tonight, honestly, is Patrick Mahomes over rushing, 21.5 yards. Even if he's not the leading rusher, which we don't want him to be.
You think he'll go back to that number? He's averaging 35 yards a game.
Over 21.5 would be the yardage mark for him to go over, and I like it.
Is there a bet you like tonight, Drew? And then we got to find out if you learned anything from Dan Weinbaum.
Xavier Worthy, 60-plus receiving yards is plus 103, or at least it was this morning on DraftKings. I feel like this is a game where I don't even know. It doesn't have to be a deep shot, but Xavier Worthy will be pretty well involved, I would say, in the offense, as you would imagine, if he's good to go. I like that bet. I tried. I went out and I said, well, what? So what's the update? To which nobody said anything.
What?
And I was like...
They just ignored you?
I was like, what's going on out there? And there was still nothing. And Rob goes, let's talk about your hair and why...
Wait, what?
Rob goes, let's talk about your shirtless running.
Dan, hold on. So Dan ignored you?
I didn't... I don't think he said... I don't think he said anything to me about
So we got no
story.
update?
Correct. There's no update.
But he didn't even acknowledge you.
Not particularly, I guess. I think he had turned and looked at me when I asked the question, but...
Did you say what's going on with the police officers?
I would say, Dan, we saw
there?
you out there asking them something.
I just said what's going on out there with the police. I mean that's. I didn't think I needed
messed
to.
Up. That's rude.
You just saving it for his show?
It's
it must be that. And Rob was like, let's talk about you running with your shirt off. And then
we did.
And then Parks goes, "What the heck's up with your hair?" And then he said, to which he then.
So they just picked on you when you walked out there.
To which Parks then said, "And you're married?" And I said, "Yes." And then he had nothing to say after that.
Parks attacked me last week, and I had to defend myself.
Level of disrespect.
I might have gone too far, in fairness, in my defense. Drew was genuinely shocked at the level I took it to with Parks. Hey, you're going to come after me. Then this is the way that it works.
Back yourself up. I can respect that.
His point, I mean, we don't have to go back into this deep, but I would just say it's not only the the weirdness of the shirtless video on our station account. His point is a fair one. It's not even that. It's like what's your wife think of you doing shirtless videos to the public?
So I told her I think I was going to do it. She goes, you don't want to do that as you're running. You need to do it before you run. I was like, no, I think I'm going to do it as I'm running. So I went and I showed her the picture. She goes, oh, look. She goes, look at you. That's what she said.
Look at you.
I've been saying she doesn't have it. My issue is more the station account.
Yeah, on your personal account, you do whatever you want as long as you don't you don't tease like you did earlier in the show where you said, "Oh, wait till next week," as if you were about to go a further.
That was confusing. I still got to go back and see what happened there.
Hey, you know what? I was encouraged by the boss, and I went.
I'm going to talk to Spec after the show. I'm like, did you actually tell Drew, hey, you should do a video with your shirt off? I want to get our boss's reaction to that.
I said it like that particularly, but he was like, if you want to do a run with your, do it mid-run or with your shirt off, whatever, then go for it.
I got to say, though, I was told here at Odyssey Incorporated, Kansas City, we're a family, and this is a team, and we're pulling on the same rope. That's the idiom that the afternoon show parrots constantly, and now they won't, and now they're just holding stuff so they can talk about it at 2. So that we can't. I forgot that we recorded that. So now we can't. Now we can't work as a group. That was from an ad that we did on this show to try to incorporate to try to get some salespeople in the building like 5 years ago. When, what the hell? I feels like they're stashing it for themselves. I don't feel like they want us to talk about the story before they get started.
I doubt it. I just think they ignored you for some reason.
Is that ruder?
It's very rude.
It didn't rub me the wrong way necessarily as much as it was like, okay, I guess there's no update. I guess.
And then they just picked on you. No update. And then they start making fun of your hair. And look, you know what?
Okay,
this is like when it's your kid. We can make fun of you. You're on the show. It's different.
Yeah, nobody makes fun of our producer but us.
Yeah. What the hell? You keep Drew's name out of your mouth.
Hey, hold on.
It's like, I can make fun of my kid. You can't make fun of my kid. Those are different.
Whenever, I guess to explain the hair thing, my hair gets particularly poofy. If I wash my hair, if I wash my hair and I don't put any product in it, the hair gets poofy. So it looks like a mess today.
We got a text we did get a text from our buddy Kramer. He said, Drew, he's just trying to give you some advice. He's like, if you're going to do the shirtless, he said, you got to at least shave or trim the nipple hairs, man.
I don't work hard enough for that. I'm sorry.
Kramer just texted.
Drew Nixon is 100% natural, okay? We are.
Third person now? Damn it, Drew, I was just defending you. I was trying to defend you.
Oh, goodness.
This show's devolving at the end. Good news, we'll have a Chiefs game to talk about tomorrow. We all predicted a Chiefs win.
You guys are
just like last week.
You guys are shaming me out of doing the social media fun posts for college football.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think it's nice that you go
You can
online.
do the post. I think it's great. The content, but nobody's enjoying the content when you're just there shirtless,
I mean, there might be somebody out there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you, Drew. You're going and you're exercising. I told everybody to enjoy the beautiful day afterwards. At the end of it.
That's the whole vibe of the video. I wish we had the audio. I wish we had the audio of it. The whole vibe. I told you. I think you were, and maybe you need to be more like that.
Do you want me to roll it in because I think
Yeah, because your whole vibe. I'm telling you, your whole vibe
Can we
was
break
different.
it down tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but because
Wednesday.
Somebody liked it on Instagram, and I think it saves it as a result on the station account.
Your whole vibe was different. You were like trying to talk all cool and smooth, and it was very.
This is Wednesday. We're breaking this down on Wednesday.